Hey guys, tonight we step into a golden afternoon at the Sultan's magnificent palace. Sunlight pours through ornate windows, scattering patterns across marble floors that gleam like quiet rivers of honey. The air carries a soft warmth, inviting you to slow down, exhale, and settle into a world where time moves unhurriedly. You might hear the faint clink of delicate teacups in distant halls, or the soft rustle of silk robes as attendants move gracefully along gilded corridors. Before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you truly enjoy the journey. Notice how the light plays across mosaics, highlighting decades of careful artistry. Step through the palace gates. Heavy doors swing silently, revealing a hall lined with carved marble pillars, each crowned with filigree capitals that glimmer under sunlight. Mosaic floors twist into geometric patterns, inviting your gaze to trace centuries of craftsmanship, reflecting both history and devotion. Some marble traveled hundreds of miles, carried by caravans through deserts and mountains. Scholars debate whether these efforts were purely aesthetic or meant to mirror divine order. Either way, the palace breathes with life, echoing centuries of footsteps, whispers, and the patient work of builders and sultans alike. Gaze upward, arches gilded with gold-framed glimpses of sunlit courtyards. Domes adorned with arabesque designs cast slow-moving shadows across the marble. Curtains flutter softly, bronze fixtures glint, and hidden fountains whisper. Light and shadow move in rhythm, creating a heartbeat measured in serenity rather than minutes. These arches were designed not only for beauty, but also for natural ventilation. Hot air rises while cooler breezes descend, a brilliant adaptation to the climate. Ancient architects balanced elegance and practicality, leading subtle innovations that scholars continue to marvel at. As you wander further, a smaller hallway reveals mosaic inlays depicting desert life. Palm trees bend gracefully under gentle wind, markets bustle with frozen figures, and camels bear fruit baskets with a playful charm. Each panel tells a story, inviting your imagination to fill in the quiet motions of daily life. Archaeologists note that these mosaics often preserve details long vanished from historical records. Some patterns may have amused or puzzled palace cats, roaming freely across marble floors. The combination of artistry, whimsy, and life creates a delicate interplay that has endured for centuries. Next, you enter a gallery filled with tapestries depicting epic journeys across deserts and starry nights. A hidden fountain blinks softly, creating a musical counterpoint to the visual splendor. Soft rugs cushion your footsteps, each thread telling layered stories preserved through careful dyes and centuries of maintenance. Sultans would spend long afternoons in these spaces, absorbing warmth and quiet while attending to affairs or meditating. The patterns in the tapestries might convey spiritual lessons, political allegiances, or merely the whims of the artisans, leaving interpretation open to each visitor's imagination. Large windows frame palace gardens. Palm trees sway lazily, fountains bubble quietly, and flowers release subtle perfumes. Latticework screens cast delicate, shifting shadows, allowing privacy while maintaining airflow. Sultans could observe the gardens without being seen, enjoying shade and subtle intrigue, a balance of beauty and practicality. Servants move silently, their presence serene and almost imperceptible. Every cushion is plump, every curtain perfectly draped. This attention to detail extends beyond architecture, shaping the atmosphere of calm. Scholars note that training servants to move gracefully contributed as much to the palace's serenity as the design itself. Sunlight spills across gilded carvings, glinting softly as if each panel contains a secret story. You trace each curve with your eyes, letting thoughts drift like clouds. Many carvings were coated with natural resins to endure desert heat, a technique that preserved their brilliance through centuries. The inner courtyard bathes in warm light. Long shadows stretch across fountains and gardens. A marble bench beneath a tree invites pause, while leaves whisper in the breeze and jasmine mingles with the scent of sun-warmed stone. Sultans once received poets or musicians here, enjoying performances that were meditative as well as entertaining. Some fountains were engineered to produce musical tones, a gentle symphony accompanying quiet hours. Scholars debate the exact techniques, but all agree the effect calmed and mesmerized, blending perfectly with golden sunlight, soft air, and slow rhythm that define the palace afternoons. You finally settle in. The palace seems to wrap around you, golden light spilling across your lap. Your breathing slows, sensing with the unhurried rhythm. Time feels paused, creating a sanctuary for reflection, relaxation, and gentle dreaming, a moment suspended in both history and serenity. Corridors beckon with more mosaics, marble and gold. Each detail whispers centuries of craftsmanship. You imagine moving in slippers instead of sandals, footsteps muted, part of a living tableau where artisans, servants, and sultans intersected in quiet elegance. As you wander deeper, sunlight dances across polished floors and carved walls. Every corner invites contemplation. Scholars note that the palace's designers embedded subtle cues to guide attention, from the curve of a column to the shimmer of a gilded arch, blending aesthetics and function seamlessly. Faint scents drift through the halls: jasmine, sandalwood, and warm stone. They mingle with the faint hum of fountains, creating a sensory rhythm that mirrors the slow passage of time. Even the softest sound of footstep, a curtain flutter, feels amplified in the spacious tranquility. You pause before a mosaic depicting a caravan crossing the desert. Tiny stones capture details of travelers and animals. The scene is playful and realistic, a reminder that life in this palace honored both grand gestures and small, fleeting moments. Every observer is invited to participate in the narrative. Nearby, the tapestries shimmer as sunlight filters through the high windows, each thread weaving stories of journeys, battles, and celebrations. The colors, preserved by rare plants and careful techniques, connect you to artisans who long ago imagined this very light falling on their work. The palace feels alive yet serene, paradoxically vibrant and calming, with shadows shifting slowly and fountains murmuring softly. Settling near the inner garden, golden light spills across your lap, mingling with the subtle fragrance of flowers. Every sense is engaged, yet your mind finds peace. Corridors and courtyards invite exploration, each detail whispering centuries of beauty, craft, and care, reminding you to move in harmony with the palace's deliberate, unhurried rhythm. As you step further into the palace, the midday sun pours through tall, ornate windows, casting gentle beams across the marble floors. The light catches subtle variations in the stone, revealing veins of cream, gold, and pale gray that shimmer softly. Each step feels cushioned, as if the floor itself absorbs your movement. The marble seems almost alive, reflecting light like still water, but steadier, more deliberate. Tiny imperfections catch shadows in surprising ways, forming fleeting patterns that shift as you walk. The effect is mesmerizing, drawing your gaze downward and inviting quiet reflection on the palace's understated beauty. Alongside the marble, intricate mosaics line the floors and lower walls. Each tile is meticulously set, forming patterns that spiral, interlock, and unfold like living geometry. Fragments of colored stone reflect sunlight differently, making the mosaics appear to pulse with hidden life. Gold and blue tiles shimmer brightest under the high sun. Sunlight does more than illuminate, it animates. Shadows and highlights reveal the depth of each tile, curve, and detail that might otherwise go unnoticed. The effect is both calming and elevating, as if the palace itself is breathing through its materials. Some mosaics depict abstract geometric patterns, twisting and overlapping to invite wandering eyes. Others tell quiet stories of gardens, fountains, or distant landscapes. The combination of sunlight and tile produces a subtle rhythm, encouraging you to slow your steps and exist fully within the space. Each reflection on the marble is unique, depending on your angle. Leaning close, you trace faint veins, watching light scatter and reform in delicate shapes. Standing back, entire mosaics glow, their colors intensified by the sun. It is a spectacle requiring no audience but your own attentive presence. Historians suggest the careful placement of marble in mosaic was not merely decorative. Patterns and reflective surfaces were meant to guide movement, focus thought, and evoke contemplation. Walking across the floors feels like following a composed visual meditation. Footsteps echo softly on polished marble, blending with sunlight to create a gentle accompaniment to the visual dance. You might imagine palace musicians performing centuries ago, their melodies harmonizing with light as naturally as your presence does today. The interplay of sunlight and mosaic creates intimacy. Even in vast halls, the floor patterns draw attention inward, highlighting small details. A blue tile edging gold, a diagonal line guiding the eye to a distant arch. The palace reveals its secrets slowly to those willing to pause. Marble, though cold to touch, appears warm in the afternoon sun. The smooth surface radiates light, softening the edges of the room and blending with shadows cast by ornate columns. The combination of hard stone and ephemeral illumination forms a paradox, solid yet delicate, enduring yet fleeting. Sunlight filtering through carved screens forms dappled patterns on mosaics. The composition shifts continuously, creating a living artwork that never repeats. Light travels along corridors, revealing details previously overlooked as the sun arcs higher. Some mosaics include reflective stones and glass fragments, catching stray beams and sending tiny pinpoints of brilliance across walls and floors. The effect is subtle, almost secretive, as if the palace whispers to those who notice. Each reflection feels intentional, a dialogue between material, light, and observer. Marble's reflective quality enhances the depth of mosaics. One glance can reveal layers of pattern, color, and texture, shifting with the sun's angle. Moving slowly, you feel immersed in a living canvas where every step brings subtle discoveries. Light and shadow interact with arches and pillars, forming patterns that echo the geometric designs of mosaics below. Horizontal and vertical surfaces are in harmony, creating a quiet order. Walking here feels like moving within a carefully orchestrated composition. The midday sun reveals more than form and color, it illuminates history. Tiny imperfections in marble or mosaic hint at centuries of craftsmanship. Minute chips or uneven edges suggest hands that labored patiently, producing a work meant to endure both time and attention. Sunlight softens the edges of the hall. Even grand spaces feel approachable and intimate. Reflective floors, shifting shadows, and mosaic glints reduce the distance between viewer and environment. You are both observer and participant, drawn into quiet dialogue with the palace. Columns reflect light differently, depending on their distance from windows. Light across carved surfaces reveals swirls, floral motifs, or abstract filigree, otherwise unnoticed. Sunlight becomes a sculptor, exposing hidden layers of artistry. Mosaic colors carry symbolism. Deep blues evoke water or sky. Gold suggests light, divinity, or wealth. Each tile is selected for aesthetic and metaphorical resonance. Sunlight brings these meanings alive, amplified without words. Even small features, a single tile inset at an unusual angle, gain significance when touched by light. Ordinary details suddenly attract attention, revealing the careful thought embedded in every corner. Sunlight interacts differently with polished stone, rough mosaic, or gilded accents, highlighting each material's character. Vast halls are tempered by reflective surfaces. Spaces that might overwhelm instead invite contemplation. Walking slowly, the palace guides your pace, encouraging measured steps and patient observation. Sunlight acts as guide and companion, marking time while emphasizing details that reward focus. As the afternoon advances, sunlight's angle shifts, softening some patterns and revealing previously hidden details. It is a subtle choreography, reminding that even solid elements exist in dynamic relation to light. Transitioning between rooms, mosaics shift seamlessly, leading gaze and footsteps naturally. Marble thresholds reflect light differently, a gentle cue to pause, step, or observe. Every element of design feels intentional yet effortless. Floor reflections encourage mindfulness. You glimpse yourself moving through the hall, softened and fragmented by mosaic patterns. This interplay mirrors the palace's balance between permanence and transience. Every detail is amplified in this light. Carved moldings, subtle color shifts, and slight unevenness gain significance. Sunlight transforms the familiar into something extraordinary, fostering prolonged observation and reflection. The palace becomes a living experience, mediated by light, stone, and mosaic. By the hall's end, marble and mosaic leave you with profound calm. Sunlight has revealed patterns and intricacies that might go unnoticed otherwise. Every glance deepens awareness of space and moment, connecting you to the palace's enduring elegance. In these corridors, light is more than illumination. It is the medium through which the palace communicates its history, artistry, and serenity. Each beam encouraged measured movement, careful observation, and deliberate engagement. Ordinary elements become extraordinary, and time itself seems to slow. Stepping into the palace courtyards, you are met by the first soft note of water. Fountains rise from the stone like sculptural verses, their arcs of silver catching sunlight before dissolving into quiet ripples. The sound is not singular, but layered, a gentle gurgle here, a measured cascade there, and now and then a sigh as water spills over carved edges. Overhead, shade-giving trees, planted with deliberate care, sway in the breeze, their leaves whispering a counterpoint to the fountain's song. It is an invitation to slow your breath, lighten your step, and let the senses fall into the courtyard's rhythm. Underfoot, sun-warmed paving alternates with cool shadows cast by walls and branches, guiding your movements in a natural choreography, light urging you forward, shade pausing your pace. Pools of still water reflect sky and architecture alike, turning each ripple into a shifting painting. Now and then, a glint of sunlight flashes on the surface, transforming stone and water into a fleeting spectacle that exists only for those who linger. Every fountain stands with mathematical precision, designed for both beauty and sound. The smallest murmur softly, others whisper with a fine hiss, and the largest release a deep, resonant roar. Together, they weave a continuous harmony, as though the palace itself were breathing. Around them, trees add their own character, a fragrance of wood, green leaves, and the occasional sweetness of blossoms, blending with the mineral freshness of water. Sunlight sifts through branches, scattering into golden fragments that dance across paving and walls. Each shadow and flicker of light seems in quiet conversation with the fountains, solid and fluid. Stillness and motion turning the courtyard into a living dialogue between nature and stone. Close to the fountains, mosaics decorate their bases in colors drawn from nature blues that recall deep pools, greens that suggest lush foliage, and gold tiles that, when struck by sunlight, flash like sparks upon the water. These mosaics are not static decorations, but active participants in the courtyard's performance. Their surfaces catch droplets, refract light, and shift in appearance as the day progresses, adding another layer to the unfolding spectacle. The fountains are carved with a precision born of patience, their stone surfaces soft over centuries by the steady touch of flowing water. Droplets slip over edges in elegant arcs, tracing paths shaped long ago by artisans who understood how stone could guide liquid. As sunlight filters through each stream, it fractures into fleeting rainbows, appearing, vanishing, and reappearing like brief, wordless thoughts in meditation. Benches of cool stone, worn smooth by time and countless visitors, wait in the shade for those who linger. From here, The eye is drawn to the shifting shimmer on ripples, to shadows gliding slowly across walls, to the delicate interplay of tilework and carving. Even the smallest event, a drifting leaf touching the water's surface, a droplet sending rings outward, feels quietly significant. Channels link the fountains in a deliberate network. Over polished stone, the water murmurs with even softness. Over ridged or patterned surfaces, it chatters and plays. Following these paths draws you through the courtyard's varied spaces, open plazas where sound expands and resonates, and narrow, shaded passages where it becomes hushed and private. Nothing here is fixed. Morning light ignites one mosaic in gold, only for afternoon shade to claim it while another surface comes alive. Wind shifts, water arcs change, and the courtyard breathes in gentle, perpetual transformation. Birdsong joins the fountain's music, delicate notes layered over liquid harmonies. Birds descend to drink or bathe in the basins, their brief splashes punctuating the calm. This movement, like the wind in the trees or the shifting light, is part of the courtyard as living character, a reminder that it is an environment shared between human craft and the natural world. Some fountains rise in multiple tiers, letting water cascade gently from one level to the next. Watching the descent, you notice the precision with which each droplet falls, the way sunlight refracts through it, and how the resulting glimmers animate the mosaics and surrounding paving. Every detail, sound, light, movement feels intentional, designed to sustain a state of quiet attentiveness. The mosaics along the paving often echo natural motifs, spirals that mimic the movement of water, leaves that recall the branches overhead, wave-like curves that repeat the fountain's flow. These designs guide the eye, reinforcing the rhythm of the place and subtly encouraging a slower, more observant walk. The courtyards serve multiple purposes. Open spaces accommodate conversation and gatherings, while shaded alcoves and benches invite solitary reflection. Water's sound functions as an invisible partition, allowing privacy without walls. Every corner feels considered, shaped not only for beauty, but for comfort and serenity. Small details heighten this harmony. The edge of a stone worn smooth by centuries of touch, a carved spout that shapes the water into a perfect arc, or the faint scent of wet stone as droplets splash and evaporate. These elements speak of the palace as history and the skill of those who built and maintained it. Yet they also feel alive in the present moment, engaging sight, sound, touch, and smell all at once. Walking through these spaces is not merely moving from one place to another, it is moving through time. The interplay of sunlight, shadow, and water shifts from hour to hour, season to season. A courtyard you visit in the soft glow of dawn feels wholly different under the rich gold of late afternoon or the deep cool of twilight. This temporal element ensures that the experience can never be exactly repeated, only rediscovered. Moving from one courtyard to the next, the sound of water travels with you, a constant yet ever-changing companion. Pathways are laid so that sun and shade alternate in a gentle rhythm, guiding your senses into balance. Each step becomes part of a quiet choreography, where the shifting light and layered fountains blend into a seamless performance. At last, you reach the central fountain. Here, every element meets sunlight, glancing off ripples, shadows gliding over carved stone, branches swaying in the breeze, and water speaking in a timeless, many-voiced song. This is the courtyard's heart, where centuries of artistry have distilled stillness into form, and where architecture dissolves into living meditation. As you step deeper into the palace, your eyes are immediately drawn to the elegant arches lining the corridors. Each arch rises with graceful precision, its curves perfectly proportioned, framing the spaces beyond like living artworks. The stone glows softly in the midday sun, every curve shaped to reflect and diffuse light. Golden highlights trace along carved patterns, catching sunlight filtering through high windows. Here, form and illumination coexist in harmony. Arches guide your gaze upward toward the soaring ceilings, while orchestrating the interplay of shadow and light. Above, golden domes rise with a quiet majesty, commanding attention while enveloping the chambers in a sense of serene intimacy. They are vast in scale, yet seem to embrace the interior space, balancing grandeur with a comforting softness. Sunlight slides effortlessly across the gilded surfaces, spreading a warm, luminous glow that reaches the polished marble floors below, illuminating every corner with gentle radiance. The gilded surfaces refract sunlight with quiet restraint, never harsh, but warm and embracing, bathing the hall in a serene golden glow. Every detail, delicate floral vines, interlaced patterns, and flawlessly balanced geometric designs, responds to the sun in its own way, catching light at shifting angles. These reflections ripple gently across the surfaces, deepening shadows and revealing subtle contours. The result is a living interplay of brightness and form, where craftsmanship and natural light merge to create a space of understated grandeur and layered visual richness. Below, the arches complement the domes, forming a visual rhythm where light and shadow flow together. As the sun moves across the sky, this interplay produces a dynamic, ever-changing tapestry, a silent, living symphony of architecture and illumination that fills the palace with elegance and quiet wonder. Closer inspection reveals the architect's careful orchestration. Some arches recede slightly, casting soft shadows that accentuate stone curvature, while others capture sunlight, forming bright bands that travel across the floor. The domes, subtly concave, reflect light in ways that seem almost alive, highlighting intricate carvings with a shimmering glow. Walking beneath the arches, you feel the scale of the space breathtaking, yet never overwhelming. The arches guide each step, framing views of domes that seem to float effortlessly, supported by precise interlocking structures. The effect is majestic and calming, inspiring admiration without demanding it. Every line, curve, and gilded accent reinforces balance, harmonizing structure and light, elegance and tranquility. The light transforms continuously. As the sun climbs, arch shadows soften, revealing hidden patterns in the stone. Shafts of sunlight pierce dome apertures, illuminating mosaics or architectural details in fleeting moments of brilliance. Dust motes hang in golden rays, suspended in the serene air. The space feels alive yet gentle, as though the architecture itself conducts a subtle symphony of light and shadow, inviting slow, mindful movement. Every arch demonstrates meticulous attention to proportion and ornamentation. Carved filigree etched with floral and geometric motifs catches light in delicate highlights. Golden inlays along edges pulse softly with movement, responding almost to your presence. Even the bases of arches, where stone meets marble floor, feature refined patterns that lead the eye upward, reinforcing the vertical sweep. Domes echo this precision. Concentric rings of decoration interact differently with sunlight, layering luminosity to deepen the perception of space. Some domes include circular openings, allowing sunlight to fall in controlled shafts, spotlighting mosaics or floors below. The palace was clearly designed for more than aesthetic beauty. It creates a guided sensory experience, encouraging reflection and presence. Arches, domes, and golden light collaborate to craft an environment that soothes, uplifts, and centers visitors simultaneously. Sound complements light. The dome's gentle curvature softens echoes, so footsteps and murmurs blend with fabric rustling or distant palace activity. The golden glow seems to settle on floors like a warm blanket, softening edges, lending an ethereal quality to objects beneath. Passing beneath a grand arch, sunlight interacts with carved surfaces. Gold highlights floral edges, while recessed areas remain shaded, creating a three-dimensional effect that shifts as you move. The play of light and shadow rewards careful observation, turning each step into a meditation in motion. Looking upward, domes appear to expand the sky itself. Gilded surfaces reflect warmth without harshness. Inlaid patterns create a dynamic mosaic of reflections, shifting with the day. Moving through the palace, you notice careful orchestration of light, architecture, and perspective. A single sunbeam may illuminate a floor pattern for minutes, yet its fleeting brilliance leaves a lasting impression. Some chambers layer arches with smaller domes, drawing highs upward, then outward to distant halls and courtyards. Golden surfaces of secondary domes catch stray sunlight, scattering warmth across walls and floors. Even in intimate spaces, arches and gilded domes maintain majesty and serenity, balancing scale with detail. The arches also frame vistas of inner courtyards, marble fountains, shaded walkways, and lush greenery softly lit. The domes echo this light, unifying interior and exterior spaces. Architecture becomes a conduit, guiding vision and perception, while engaging sight, sound, and touch as sunlight grazes your skin. Every arch and dome tells a story of skill and patience. Tiny imperfections, subtle gilding variations, and delicate patterns add authenticity and tactile richness, emphasized by sunlight. Beauty here stems from human intention and labor as much as from materials. Pausing beneath the largest central dome, you witness convergence, sweeping arches, glowing gilded surfaces, sunlight cascading across carvings and polished floors. The palace feels alive yet serene, a space where light, structure, and proportion achieve perfect harmony. The warmth of domes is mirrored by radiance from arches, guiding attention and pace. The palace is not merely a collection of structures, but a choreographed experience, each arch, dome, and sunbeam contributing to a lasting impression of elegance, balance, and serenity. Moving through the halls, you are enveloped in light and architecture. Arches frame your journey, domes crown it with golden calm, and every step reinforces the palace's timeless beauty. Sunlight glides in soft, golden waves across the gilded surfaces, catching on curves and edges before dissolving into a gentle radiance. Shadows, fine and deliberate, trace the intricate carvings with patient precision, revealing layers of craftsmanship in every detail. The arches rise in graceful succession, guiding the eye upward toward the domes, where light gathers and disperses in a quiet rhythm. Together, these elements form a seamless harmony, architecture and illumination intertwined, creating not merely a place to be seen, but a space to be felt. The experience lingers, an enduring impression of balance, beauty, and profound restorative calm. As you step into the next chamber of the palace, the searing heat of the midday sun outside is gently replaced by a cooling, almost imperceptible breeze drifting through the tall, lattice-framed windows. These windows, positioned with meticulous care, allow air to enter in a soft, measured rhythm. The sheer curtains flutter lightly, responding to the movement of wind, casting dancing shadows across the polished marble floors. This subtle motion soothes the senses, offering a visual and tactile reminder of the contrast between the harsh desert outside and the serene interior of the palace. The breeze carries with it hints of the courtyard beyond. The faint murmur of water, trickling from distant fountains, blends with the soft rustle of palm leaves, while the air itself is imbued with the delicate fragrance of jasmine and orange blossom from the gardens. Each inhalation brings a refreshing clarity, lifting the weight of the day from your body and easing the warmth from your skin. This harmonious interaction between air, scent, and sound feels as if the palace itself breathes, inviting both body and mind into a state of calm. The architects of the palace understood the importance of airflow as much as sunlight in creating comfort. Every window is positioned to catch prevailing winds, guiding them gently through the chambers without ever overwhelming the space. The air moves fluidly around arches, columns, and divans, circulating softly and producing a living presence that is felt more than seen. Even the furnishings respond subtly. The silk draperies quiver, velvet cushions undulate, and carved wooden screens seem to shimmer with life. reflecting the intricate choreography of wind and light. Standing near an open window, you notice the delicate interplay of air and sunlight. Golden shafts of light filter through the thin fabric, swaying in time with the gentle breeze. Shadows lengthen and contract with each shift, painting the floors and walls with patterns that are never repeated exactly. The effect is hypnotic, a slow, meditative rhythm that draws attention to the present moment. Smooth marble feels cool underfoot, while the tactile contrast of soft rugs and plush divans emphasizes the delicate dance of movement and stillness within the room. Listening closely, you perceive the subtle sounds the breeze carries. Curtains brush the windowsills, water flows with the rustling leaves, and now and then, wind chimes ring softly. These sounds merge into a soft, continuous background, enhancing awareness and mindfulness rather than distracting. Even distant noises from other parts of the palace, soft footsteps, hushed conversations, or the faint pluck of a lute blend with the natural sounds, forming a continuous auditory tapestry that complements the visual and tactile experience. The breeze also modulates temperature, softening the intensity of the sun without introducing chill. It is a carefully balanced comfort, inviting relaxation while heightening awareness of the surrounding environment. Sitting near the window, muscles in your shoulders and neck release tension almost automatically, while your mind aligns with the gentle rhythm of the air. Each inhalation feels restorative, each subtle movement of the breeze a physical cue for stillness and reflection. The passage of time within the chamber is tangible in the slow evolution of light and air. Curtains drift and shadows shift, subtly transforming the room with every passing moment. The open windows allow these changes to occur gracefully, turning ordinary hours into contemplative, almost sacred experiences. Even human presence influences the flow of air. Each gesture, each step stirs faint currents, amplifying the perception of life within the space. Light interacts dynamically with the moving fabrics. A corner of a curtain may flutter suddenly, revealing parts of floor or wall previously hidden, while another section drifts languidly, extending the interplay of sunlight and shadow. Sheer silks catch both air and light, producing fleeting reflections, while heavier velvets anchor the eye and hand, emphasizing the contrast between motion and stability. The result is an interior that feels alive, even in stillness. The palace's subtle vitality has witnessed history. In 1582, under the reign of the Sultan, the chamber hosted a clandestine council with a foreign emissary from the distant Ottoman provinces. The breeze carried whispers of strategy and negotiation, while sunlight filtered through the lattice, painting maps and ceremonial robes with shifting patterns. The calm, measured atmosphere encouraged focus and discretion, making the chamber a perfect stage for a meeting that would later shape regional trade routes. Today, the memory lingers faintly, as though the palace itself retains traces of those moments, echoing them in the gentle movements of air, light, and fabric. Yet the chamber harbors secrets beyond its historical resonance. Locals speak in hushed tones of a hidden niche concealed behind one of the marble columns, where an ancient scroll is said to have been placed centuries ago. Its precise location remains unknown, but some claim that the fluttering of the curtains aligned with sunlight at a particular hour offers a subtle hint of the niche's presence. This quiet enigma infuses the serene chamber with a sense of anticipation, reminding visitors that even in spaces of perfect harmony, mysteries linger, waiting for the observant to uncover them. As the afternoon progresses, the breeze shifts gently, carrying warmer air from sunlit courtyards or cooler currents from shaded corridors. This natural modulation prevents stagnation, maintaining a perpetual sense of comfort. Walking slowly, your movements align with the soft flow of air, each step accompanied by a slight lift against your skin. The interplay of wind, light, shadow, and fabric orchestrates a rhythm both gentle and deliberate, encouraging mindfulness and presence. The chamber transcends its physical form, becoming a living sensory composition. Every inhalation of scented air, every flicker of a curtain, every rustle of fabric contributes to a holistic sense of calm. The palace demonstrates that true luxury is not merely visual. It emerges from the thoughtful orchestration of space, sound, scent, and motion, harmonizing interior serenity with the energy of the world beyond its walls. By evening, golden sunlight fades to a cooler, shaded glow, while the breeze carries lingering hints of the gardens outside. Shadows shift subtly, curtains continue to dance, and the quiet murmur of water and foliage remains a constant companion. In this space, the Sultan or any visitor experiences a seamless blend of history, mystery, and natural rhythm, a chamber alive with the gentlest, most deliberate pulse of life. Entering the Sultan's private chamber, you are immediately struck by the rich textures and luxurious materials that define the space. The first thing to capture your attention is the silk robes draped elegantly across low divans and ornate chairs. Their colors range from deep sapphire and crimson to soft cream and gold, each piece meticulously woven, shimmering faintly under the soft light filtering through nearby windows. The silk catches and reflects the light in a delicate dance, accentuating the fluidity of its folds. Running your fingers over the fabric, you feel a smooth, almost liquid softness, a tactile delight that invites both admiration and gentle touch. Adjacent to the robes are the velvet cushions, abundant and carefully arranged throughout the chamber. Each cushion is plump and inviting, embroidered with intricate patterns of gold thread, floral motifs, or geometric designs. The velvet is cool to the touch, yet immediately yields to pressure, cradling the body in a luxurious embrace. Sitting or reclining upon them, you sense the perfect combination of softness and support, designed to relax the muscles and ease tension after a long day in the palace. The cushions, like the robes, are more than functional. They are an aesthetic statement, adding depth, richness, and comfort to the surroundings. The Sultan himself moves gracefully among these fabrics, selecting a robe with deliberate care. The silk slides through his fingers, its lightweight and supple texture draping naturally across his form. The act is almost ceremonial. Each robe chosen reflects the mood of the afternoon, the atmosphere of the chamber, and the Sultan's personal preference. Observing this, you recognize the connection between clothing and well-being in this environment. The tactile quality of silk is more than cloth. It soothes, calms, and heightens the sensory awareness of the wearer. As the Sultan settles onto the velvet cushions, the interaction between body and fabric becomes apparent. The cushions mold around him, distributing weight evenly and absorbing subtle movements. Even small shifts, a stretch of the arms, a lean to one side, are accommodated with grace. This responsiveness is mirrored in the surrounding textiles. The robes, drapes, and throws react gently to air currents and the motion of the occupant, creating a living interplay of material and movement. The room itself seems to breathe alongside its inhabitant. The color palette of the robes and cushions further enhances the atmosphere. Deep jewel tones evoke warmth and richness, while lighter shades of cream and gold soften the space, allowing the mind to rest. Patterns, whether ornate floral or restrained geometric, provide visual interest without overwhelming the senses. Each element contributes to a cohesive sensory experience, where sight, touch, and even subtle sound, such as the rustle of silk against skin, combine to promote relaxation. The cushions are placed with careful intention, forming welcoming clusters that invite relaxation. Some lean against intricately carved wooden divans, while others are spread across soft, plush rugs, offering a variety of options for sitting, reclining, or simply leaning. Each arrangement balances comfort and aesthetic appeal, creating spaces that encourage ease and quiet reflection, where every cushion seems purposefully positioned to support both body and mind in tranquil repose. The Sultan can shift position effortlessly, each movement cushioned and supported. The overall effect is one of ease and fluidity, where the physical environment accommodates the human form completely, reducing strain and promoting comfort. Aroma subtly complements the tactile and visual elements. The fabrics, particularly silk and velvet, carry a faint scent of natural fibers, occasionally mingling with hints of lavender or sandalwood from nearby burners. This olfactory layer adds to the multi-sensory harmony, enhancing relaxation and creating an environment that soothes both body and mind. Beyond mere physical comfort, the presence of these luxurious textiles has a psychological impact. The tactile richness of silk and velvet signals care, attention, and refinement. In the Sultan's private chamber, these materials represent not only wealth, but also the luxury of slow, deliberate living, a space where time can pause and the body can rest fully. The combination of textures invites introspection, a gentle focus on sensation that encourages the mind to let go of tension and embrace tranquility. The robes and cushions also facilitate movement and posture. Sitting upright or reclining, the Sultan finds that each adjustment is supported. Even reaching for a cup of tea or turning a page in a book is accompanied by the subtle assistance of soft textiles. The environment anticipates the needs of the occupant, creating a seamless integration between material and human action, allowing the Sultan to exist in a state of effortless comfort. Soft folds of silk drape over the edges of divans, occasionally brushing the polished floors. Velvet cushions, slightly compressed under gentle weight, spring back almost imperceptibly, demonstrating resilience and quality. Every touch, every minor interaction with these fabrics is a reminder of luxury as an art form, where functionality and beauty coexist harmoniously. In this chamber, the interplay of silk and velvet defines the experience of the afternoon. The air is cool and still, allowing the fabric's textures to dominate the sensory environment. Movement is slow, deliberate, and intentional, with each gesture enhanced by the materials beneath and around the Sultan. The combination of soft textiles, rich colors, and subtle scents fosters a profound sense of physical and emotional relaxation, preparing the body and mind for the next stage of repose. Even as servants move quietly to attend to the Sultan's needs, the softness of the robes and cushions absorbs motion and sound, maintaining an atmosphere of serene continuity. The chamber becomes a sanctuary, a space where luxury is expressed not through grandeur alone, but through sensory refinement, tactile pleasure, and deliberate comfort. Here, every fabric, every fold, every cushion is part of a carefully orchestrated experience designed to envelop the Sultan in gentle serenity. By the time the afternoon unfolds fully, the Sultan is completely immersed in this environment of soft textures and sumptuous comfort. The silk robes, the velvet cushions, the interplay of color, form, and scent all converge to create a chamber where the body relaxes, the mind settles, and the senses are quietly delighted. This is the essence of luxury as experiential elegance, where each material, each design choice, contributes to an overarching sense of ease, calm, and restorative tranquility. The moment you step into the palace corridors, a distinct sensation of calm envelops you. The halls stretch long and graceful, their polished floors reflecting the gentle light that filters through intricately carved windows. Every step produces a soft, deliberate echo, a rhythm that feels almost musical as it resonates through the expansive space. The Sultan's presence, combined with the architecture, transforms mere footsteps into a meditative experience, each echo marking a heartbeat of the palace. The corridors are wide, framed by tall, elegant columns that rise smoothly toward the vaulted ceilings. The arches above are adorned with subtle patterns, geometric shapes, and delicate floral motifs, carved with such precision that they seem almost to breathe alongside the visitor. The ceilings, painted in muted golds and soft pastels, capture the light in a diffuse glow, preventing harsh shadows and contributing to the peaceful ambiance. Every echo of a footstep interacts with this architectural harmony, creating a sense of rhythm and space that is both reassuring and hypnotic. The Sultan's footsteps themselves are slow, deliberate, and measured. Each step presses gently against the stone floor, sending a soft resonance that travels down the hall, fading gradually into the distance. It is not the noise of movement, but the gentle presence of life within a vast and beautiful structure. As you listen, the rhythm of these footsteps establishes a subtle heartbeat for the chamber and corridors alike, a cadence that invites calm reflection and tranquility. Along the hallways, carpets and runners of deep colors and intricate patterns line the floors. These not only soften the echoes, but also guide the footfall, creating a deliberate path through the expanse of the palace. Each step on the woven textiles produces a muffled, comforting sound that contrasts gently with the bare stones. This combination of hard and soft surfaces enriches the acoustic landscape, turning ordinary movement into a sensory experience that soothes the mind. Light and shadow play along the walls, shifting subtly with the passing of the sun or the flicker of lanterns. The arches create patterns, framing segments of the corridor in quiet elegance. Every footstep interacts with these visual textures, bringing a dynamic harmony between motion and environment. As the Sultan walks, the interplay of light, shadow, and echo creates a gentle dance that seems choreographed for serenity. The walls themselves are not merely structural, they are alive with ornamentation and texture. Delicate inlays of mother-of-pearl, gold filigree, and subtle mosaics capture attention without overwhelming. Even the smallest step invites the eye to wander along these surfaces, tracing patterns and discovering minute details that reward careful observation. The effect is a constant balance between motion and stillness, each echo reinforcing the tranquil rhythm of the palace. Servants move silently along the periphery of the halls, their steps almost imperceptible compared to the measured pace of the Sultan. Their presence is comforting rather than intrusive, adding to the sense of security and gentle order. Every sound in the corridor is moderated, softened, or absorbed, so that the echo of the Sultan's steps remains dominant, reminder of the calm authority and peaceful rhythm that governs the palace. In the distance, occasional doors open to reveal intimate chambers and quiet alcoves. Each doorway frames a subtle change in acoustics, where the echoes soften and disperse. This contrast between open corridors and secluded spaces enhances the perception of space and depth, allowing the mind to relax and wander while still feeling enclosed within a carefully curated environment. The temperature within the halls is moderated by the thick walls and high ceilings. A slight coolness drifts through the corridors, carrying the faint scent of polished stone and aged wood. The combination of tactile, olfactory, and auditory sensations creates a multisensory experience, where every echo contributes not only to hearing, but also to a general sense of well-being. The footsteps are not isolated, they interact with air, walls, and light to create a full, immersive environment. Even the sound of the Sultan adjusting his pace or shifting weight adds to the calm rhythm. A subtle change in tempo or a slight pause is perceptible, each variation resonating gently throughout the hall. These nuances draw attention to the precision and elegance of movement, reminding the listener that each sound is deliberate, each step meaningful. It encourages a form of mindful awareness, where the act of walking itself becomes a meditative exercise. The hallways are also punctuated with arches leading to inner courtyards, fountains, and gardens. Occasionally, the gentle rush of water or rustle of leaves drifts into the corridor, mixing harmoniously with the echoes. The contrast between natural sounds and the deliberate footfalls enhances the perception of peace and spaciousness, reminding the Sultan and any visitor that the palace is both expansive and intimately connected to nature. Throughout the walk, the Sultan's body feels supported by the environment. The polished floors, cushioned carpets, and the gentle echoing space create an almost sensory cradle, one that promotes relaxed posture and awareness of the body in space. Each step becomes an opportunity to feel grounded, to connect with the material world, while also allowing the mind to drift. As the afternoon progresses, the echoes lengthen slightly, reflecting changes in the light and the quiet movements of others within the palace. The rhythm slows, the cadence softens, and the space seems to sigh in harmony with its occupant. The corridors, through their design, acoustics, and careful proportion, transform walking into an experience of calm reflection and gentle mindfulness. As the Sultan reaches the end of a hall or pauses before an archway, the palace's acoustics and architecture subtly shape his perception. Each long, measured footstep resonates through the space, creating echoes that blend with the shifting light and intricate patterns around him. These sounds, gentle yet deliberate, instill a profound sense of stability and safety, reinforcing the feeling of being fully present. The interaction of space, motion, and sound guides the mind into calm reflection, transforming ordinary movement into a meditative experience. The palace becomes more than a physical structure. It orchestrates an atmosphere of quiet contemplation. Every echo, every step, contributes to restorative inner peace, allowing the Sultan to move through the halls with a deep sense of serenity. In this way, the palace itself fosters a harmonious alignment of body, mind, and environment. The afternoon in the palace carries a gentle stillness, as if time itself slows to match the rhythm of the Sultan's day. One of the most comforting moments is the preparation and experience of herbal afternoon tea, a ritual that engages the senses in subtle yet profound ways. As the servants bring trays of delicate porcelain cups, fragrant teapots, and lightly baked pastries, the air fills with the soothing sense of herbs, flowers, and warmth. Each aroma seems to settle softly around the room, blending with the quiet rustle of silk robes and the muted footsteps of attendants. The tea itself is a careful composition of hand-picked herbs, steeped to perfection. Chamomile, with its gentle floral sweetness, forms the base, promoting relaxation and easing the mind. Sprigs of mint mingle with lavender, their combined fragrance crisp yet soothing, lingering in the air and inviting the senses to wander. Occasionally, hints of rose petals or jasmine blossom drift into the scent, adding layers of subtle complexity that evoke calm and serenity. The Sultan inhales deeply, letting the aromatic steam reach the senses before even lifting the cup to his lips. Each inhalation draws him further into a state of quiet mindfulness, where the body and mind begin to release tension. The teapots, made of gleaming silver or delicately painted porcelain, catch the soft light from nearby windows, reflecting glimmers that dance across the table. The act of pouring, steady and deliberate, releases additional bursts of herbal fragrance as warm liquid cascades into waiting cups. The sound of the pour is gentle but audible, a soft, satisfying patter that adds another layer to the serene sensory environment. Each cup seems to promise comfort, an invitation to pause, breathe, and be present. Light, filtered through draped curtains, casts a warm glow over the tea table, highlighting the intricate designs of the porcelain and the polished surfaces of trays and utensils. The interplay of light and shadow adds a visual calmness, complementing the soothing aromas. The Sultan's hand reaches for a cup, the porcelain cool yet delicate, and the warmth of the herbal infusion seeps into his senses. The combination of gentle heat, fragrant steam, and the tactile pleasure of holding the cup cultivates a deeply satisfying, almost meditative experience. Accompanying the tea are small pastries and light treats, their aromas mingling subtly with the herbal notes. Almond cakes, delicate honey tarts, and spiced cookies release gentle scents that enhance the sense of indulgence without overwhelming. Each bite is a study in texture and flavor, soft and yielding, sweet yet understated, encouraging a slow, mindful approach to nourishment. The Sultan savors each mouthful, letting the flavors unfold gradually, allowing both body and mind to recognize the luxury of this calm pause. The room itself contributes to the sensory experience. Its walls, adorned with muted tapestries and soft ornamental carvings, absorb sound and create a quiet sanctuary where the aroma of the tea can dominate. The faint rustle of silk, the measured clink of spoons against porcelain, and the whisper of attendants moving discreetly around the space form a subtle auditory backdrop. These gentle sounds, together with the herbal fragrance, establish a rhythmic tranquility, encouraging a slow, relaxed pace that resonates throughout the body. Outside the windows, the palace gardens offer visual and olfactory accompaniment. Fragrant flowers, from roses to jasmine vines, release occasional whispers of scent that mingle with the tea, creating an atmosphere of harmonized nature and comfort. Sunlight filters through the leaves, casting dancing patterns across the floor and furniture, reminding the Sultan of the outside world as gentle vitality, even as he remains cocooned in the calm interior. The combination of garden freshness and carefully brewed herbal tea forms a bridge between nature and human experience, encouraging deep, restorative breathing. The Sultan's senses are further engaged by the careful arrangement of the tea setting. Each element, the cups, the teapots, the trays, the pastries, is placed with meticulous precision. The attention to detail ensures that nothing interrupts the serenity of the moment. Instead, every item contributes to the overall harmony and refinement of the experience. The subtle symmetry and visual elegance allow the mind to rest, freeing it from distraction and promoting inner calm. As he sips, the warmth spreads through the body, and the gentle bitterness of some herbal leaves is balanced by sweetness and floral undertones. The combination of heat, flavor, and fragrance induces a slow relaxation, encouraging the muscles to release tension and the mind to enter a state of peaceful reflection. With each cup, the Sultan drifts further into a serene rhythm, where the worries and noise of the outside world feel distant, replaced by a sensation of quiet luxury and restorative calm. The subtle interaction of senses continues as the afternoon unfolds. Occasionally, a servant might adjust a tray, the gentle movement accompanied by a faint swish of fabric, or pour a fresh infusion, releasing another delicate wave of scent. Each gesture is both functional and meditative, reinforcing the experience of attentive care and unhurried ritual. The act of serving tea, when performed with such thoughtfulness, becomes a form of silent poetry, contributing to the overall atmosphere of peace. In this environment, even silence carries meaning. The pauses between sips, the moments of reflection, and the gentle aroma hovering in the room create a rhythm that slows the perception of time. It is a sanctuary for the senses, a temporary retreat from the demands of the day, where the mind can wander freely while remaining anchored in the luxury of comfort and calm. The combination of warm liquid, aromatic herbs, soft sounds, and gentle light culminates in a profound sense of contentment. The Sultan, enveloped by the fragrances, textures, and delicate tastes, experiences an intimate connection to the present moment. Each element, the tea, the pastries, the room, the garden beyond, works together to cultivate a holistic sensory serenity, reinforcing the palace's role as a place of restorative peace and quiet luxury. By the end of the afternoon, the Sultan's body feels nourished, his mind clear, and his spirit light. The herbal tea has done more than quench thirst. It has guided the senses toward relaxation, harmonizing taste, smell, touch, and sound in a gentle symphony of calm. The echoes of earlier footsteps, the warmth of sunlight, and the lingering fragrance of herbs combine to leave a lasting impression of comfort, tranquility, and mindful presence, a serene pause before the slower rhythms of the evening unfold. As the afternoon unfolds, the palace interior is transformed by a quiet, almost magical light, sunlight streaming through the stained glass windows. Each pane, meticulously crafted and vividly colored, refracts light into a spectrum of crimson, sapphire, emerald, and gold, spilling intricate patterns across floors, walls, and furnishings. The effect is mesmerizing, a living mosaic that subtly shifts with the sun's passage. The Sultan, seated comfortably in his chamber, observes the ever-changing light dance across polished surfaces, tables, carpets, and cushions, creating a dynamic visual symphony that engages both the eye and the spirit. These stained glass windows are far more than decoration. They are masterpieces of artistry and technical skill. Tiny fragments of glass, joined with delicate lead strips, form intricate geometric patterns, floral motifs, and abstract designs. Each piece is chosen not only for its color, but also for its texture, thickness, and translucency. Smooth panes allow sunlight to pass in soft, unbroken streams, while rippled or faceted pieces scatter it into delicate prisms that move across the room like liquid color. The interplay of hue and texture produces a living painting, evolving continuously as the sun arcs across the sky. Sunlight filtered through these vibrant panels bathes the chamber in a warm, ethereal glow. Deep reds create richness and intimacy. Blues and greens evoke calm, while golden panes radiate soft brilliance that illuminates the Sultan's surroundings with a nearly sacred aura. Each color resonates emotionally, enhancing the sense of luxury and tranquility within the palace. Patterns projected onto floors and furnishings shift constantly, encouraging the eye to wander and the mind to settle, fostering a meditative stillness that permeates the space. As the Sultan shifts in his seat, colored patterns respond to his movement, creating the illusion of life and motion in the otherwise still room. Polished wooden floors reflect fragments of light, amplifying the effect and adding depth to the visual experience. Even the delicate fabrics of the Sultan's robes respond to illumination, their folds and textures highlighted by the changing light. The interplay of color, texture, and form produces a harmonious composition, inviting contemplation and a profound sense of serenity. The experience of sunlight through stained glass extends beyond the visual. Filtered light softens the air, warming it gently without harshness. Shadows and highlights form intricate, shifting patterns that alter perceptions of space and introduce a sense of depth and flow. The room feels alive yet calm, vibrant yet peaceful. The Sultan's senses are subtly engaged, never overwhelmed, allowing him to fully immerse in the present moment. Light softens object edges, smooths transitions, and establishes visual harmony that mirrors inner tranquility. The effect even reaches the auditory senses. Light interacts with the room to enhance soft echoes and subtle noises. The rustle of silk robes, the faint movement of attendants, and the delicate clink of porcelain or metal become part of a sensory symphony, complementing the visual display. Light and sound create a gentle rhythm, encouraging the Sultan to pause, reflect, and savor the subtle pleasures around him. Within the palace, the stained glass promotes quiet movement and contemplation. Steps along corridors are measured and deliberate, as shifting light marks the passage of time in an almost imperceptible rhythm. The Sultan's gaze follows streams of color, guiding him from one area to another in slow, deliberate exploration. Each step reveals new combinations of light and shadow, new textures, and new perspectives, forming a continuously unfolding aesthetic experience. Even furnishings respond to illumination. Carved wooden panels catch splashes of colored light, revealing hidden details and subtle craftsmanship. Cushions and tapestries are highlighted differently throughout the day, emphasizing richness and enhancing the sense of luxury. Every surface participates in the play of sunlight, achieving balance between architecture, decoration, and natural illumination. Observing these interactions, the Sultan experiences profound alignment between the external environment and his inner state, a sublime coherence of space and spirit. Sunlight also shapes the room's temperature and ambience. Warm rays create comforting glow without harsh heat, allowing body and mind to relax. Filtered light produces intimacy, even in large spaces, inviting introspection and mindfulness. The Sultan notices how shadows stretch and soften, how colors deepen or fade, and how these subtle changes contribute to a continuous aesthetic pleasure. Outside, palace gardens complement the interior, but inside, stained glass transforms the room into a sanctuary. Dynamic patterns of colored light evoke quiet awe, reminiscent of reverence in sacred spaces. Each moment of observation offers novelty, fleeting alignment of geometric shapes, subtle change in hue, or ripple of reflection on polished surfaces. The Sultan's attention to these details nurtures gradual relaxation, as if the play of light itself is a meditative practice. This experience of light is enriched by history. In 1574, the palace hosted a significant diplomatic audience with envoys from the Safavid Empire, solidifying a fragile alliance. The same stained glass that now creates contemplative ambience once filtered sunlight over the Sultan and his guests, highlighting ceremonial robes and the gleam of precious objects. Light seemed to underscore the occasion's importance, turning the palace into a political and spiritual stage. Even today, the historical resonance is felt as light continues marking the passage of hours with elegance and grace. Sunlight through stained glass is more than visual pleasure. It is a complete sensory experience. It engages the eye, mind, and body in a slow, harmonious rhythm. The Sultan inhales the warmth, feels the soft glow on his skin, and lets the visual symphony guide him to calm presence. Thoughts drift freely, attention flows naturally, and the body rests comfortably in a space designed for aesthetic enjoyment. As afternoon turns to evening, colors gradually shift. Sunlight softens as it moves across surfaces. The Sultan remains immersed, savoring the measured changes that mark time with tranquility. Each moment offers new perspectives, new combinations of light and shadow, and renewed aesthetic delight, reinforcing the palace's role as sanctuary for both body and spirit. Within this space, the Sultan encounters more than beauty. He experiences holistic serenity. Color, light, sound, texture, and atmosphere converge to create lasting peace. Sunlight through stained glass becomes both visual and emotional guide, leading him to inner calm, gentle reflection, and mindful presence. Every shift of sunlight is a subtle meditation, reminding him of the present and the continuity of history within these sacred walls. At the heart of the palace, the courtyard unfolds as a serene open space where sunlight and shadow engage in a graceful, unhurried dance. Towering palm trees rise with elegant poise, their fronds moving gently in the soft breeze, casting ever-shifting patterns across the cool stone floor. The interplay of light, shade, and movement creates a living tapestry, a place of calm and contemplation. Each subtle rustle of leaves and each ripple of sunlight across the surfaces enhances the sense of harmony, making the courtyard a tranquil sanctuary within the vibrant life of the palace. The sun, climbing steadily through the sky, projects elongated shadows that move imperceptibly, creating a dynamic tapestry of dark and light. The courtyard is not merely a passage or empty space. It is a living, breathing sanctuary designed to offer respite from the heat of the day and a place for the mind to settle into quiet reflection. The palms themselves are magnificent, their tall, slender trunks rising gracefully toward the sky, crowned with a lush canopy of green. Each frond responds to the wind with subtle undulations, creating a soft rustling sound that mixes with the distant trickle of water from the central fountain. The Sultan, walking slowly along the courtyard paths, feels the delicate interplay of sun and shade upon his skin. Light filters through the fronds in fractured patterns, dappling the ground and walls with constantly changing geometry, a visual rhythm that soothes the mind and slows the heartbeat. Water flows gently in the fountain at the courtyard center, its sound a soft, continuous murmur that blends seamlessly with the whisper of the palms. The fountain itself is a sculptural marvel. Carved stone arcs and basins channel the water into a cascading rhythm, producing tiny droplets that catch the sunlight and scatter it into tiny, fleeting rainbows. The combined effect of water, shadow, and sunlight is hypnotic. Each step the Sultan takes shifts his perspective slightly, revealing new intersections of shadow, new glimpses of light glinting off the water's surface, and new compositions of natural and architectural beauty. The courtyard's stone floors are carefully chosen and arranged, designed to enhance the interplay of shadow and light. Polished surfaces reflect sunlight, while textured stones create areas of gentle darkness. This subtle contrast amplifies the natural movement of shadows from the palm fronds, giving the impression that the courtyard itself breathes and moves. Even the walls surrounding the courtyard are part of this choreography. Carved reliefs and niches capture fragments of sunlight, creating miniature highlights that echo the larger patterns on the floor. The air in the courtyard is infused with the faint scent of the surrounding gardens, a delicate mix of jasmine, rose, and herbs. The fragrance combines with the cooling sensation of shade beneath the palms to create a sensory oasis. Every inhalation feels refreshing, each exhalation releasing the tension accumulated in the body. The Sultan, resting momentarily on a carved stone bench, allows himself to fully absorb the atmosphere. He listens to the gentle rustling of leaves, the subtle gurgle of water, and the distant, soft calls of birds from the garden beyond. These sounds, combined with the visual beauty of shifting light and shadow, foster a profound sense of inner calm. The design of the courtyard is meticulous. Each palm, each stone, each basin of water is positioned to maximize both aesthetic appeal and functional comfort. Narrow channels of shade provide refuge from direct sunlight, while open areas allow the warmth of the sun to touch the skin in a gentle, controlled manner. The movement of shadows across the courtyard throughout the day marks the passage of time in a subtle, meditative way, encouraging those within to slow their pace and synchronize with the rhythms of nature. Light filtering through the palm fronds illuminates the Sultan's path in dappled patterns. His feet, shod in soft slippers, make almost no sound on the stone floor, enhancing the sense of peaceful solitude. Each step is deliberate, a conscious movement that harmonizes with the natural cadence of the courtyard. The courtyard itself seems to acknowledge his presence, the shadows shifting slightly as he passes, the fronds bending in gentle acknowledgement of his motion. This subtle interaction between man and environment deepens the feeling of connection and belonging, reinforcing the palace as a sanctuary, not only for the body, but for the mind and spirit. The fountain's water droplets catch the sunlight in fleeting moments, forming tiny prisms that scatter miniature rainbows across the courtyard. These colors, transient yet vivid, evoke a sense of wonder and delicate joy. The Sultan pauses to observe one of these brief spectacles, appreciating the ephemeral beauty that mirrors the fleeting nature of time itself. The combination of water, shadow, and light is meditative. Each element complements the others, creating a sensory harmony that calms the mind and nurtures reflection. Even in the heat of the afternoon, the courtyard maintains a sense of comfort and serenity. The shade beneath the palms offers relief, while the open spaces allow a gentle warmth to permeate without overwhelming. The interplay of light and shadow, combined with the sound of flowing water and the subtle sense in the air, encourages a state of mindfulness. The Sultan, walking slowly or sitting quietly, experiences each sensation fully, letting the natural rhythms of the courtyard guide him into relaxation. The surrounding architecture frames the courtyard in a manner that enhances the sensory experience. Arched doorways, carved columns, and decorative niches create pockets of shadow that contrast with the open sunlit areas. These elements, combined with the natural forms of the palms and the reflective surfaces of the fountain, produce a continuously evolving visual composition. The shifting shadows of fronds, the play of sunlight on stone, and the glinting reflections on water provide endless variations. Keeping the senses engaged while simultaneously soothing them. As the sun begins to lower toward the horizon, the courtyard's shadows lengthen and stretch, creating a tranquil atmosphere of quiet reflection. The Sultan feels the rhythm of the day slowing, each movement and each sound becoming softer, more deliberate. The courtyard, with its palms, fountains, and shadows, becomes a space not just for movement, but for contemplation, a serene sanctuary where body and mind are gently guided into a state of harmony. The chamber stands prepared for the Sultan with meticulous attention, the result of hours of devoted effort by loyal servants. Each action, from arranging cushions to aligning silk rugs, is executed with care that transforms routine tasks into expressions of reverence. Every detail is considered, ensuring both comfort and aesthetic harmony, creating an environment that anticipates the Sultan's needs. The soft textures, precise placements, and thoughtful touches combine to produce a space where tranquility and elegance coexist seamlessly, inviting him to enter a world of calm, luxury, and gentle restorative attention. The Sultan's environment is crafted not merely for comfort, but for a sense of sanctuary, a space where mind, body, and spirit may rest in complete tranquility. As he approaches the chamber, a subtle harmony of sights, sounds, and scents greets him, each element contributing to a deliberate orchestration of serenity. Inside the chamber, the servants move quietly, their steps soft on the polished floors, their presence almost imperceptible, yet constant. They carry out their tasks with a practiced grace, each gesture deliberate, each movement measured. One unfurls a thick, luxurious rug across the floor, smoothing it with careful hands to eliminate even the slightest wrinkle. Another arranges an array of cushions and silk pillows with exacting symmetry, ensuring that every angle, every fold, offers the Sultan optimal comfort. The visual effect is both orderly and inviting. The room radiates a gentle warmth, an aura of refined care that reaches into the soul. The air is imbued with subtle fragrances designed to soothe and refresh. Essential oils and the faint scent of fresh flowers mingle with the lingering aroma of polished wood, creating a layered, immersive olfactory experience. Servants discreetly light incense in delicate holders, the smoke curling slowly toward the ceiling, blending with the gentle warmth of the room. Each scent is chosen to calm the senses and prepare the mind for rest, a thoughtful composition that elevates the chamber from mere physical space to an environment of restorative peace. Fans crafted from fine silks and embellished with delicate embroidery sway gently as servants adjust them, catching the light and creating soft, rhythmic motion. The cooling breeze they generate dances across the Sultan's robes and the smooth surfaces of the cushions, easing the residual heat of the day. The tactile environment is heightened by the careful selection of fabrics throughout the chamber. Luxurious velvets and smooth silks are chosen not only for their softness, but for the way their textures invite the Sultan to relax with every touch. Each cushion, drape, and layer beneath him responds subtly to movement, creating a seamless interaction between body and surroundings. Even his footsteps are mirrored by the thoughtful arrangement of objects, from the positioning of furniture to the placement of decorative elements, ensuring comfort at every turn. This meticulous design anticipates his needs before they arise, fostering a space where physical ease and mental tranquility exist in perfect harmony, enveloping him in a continuous sensory embrace. Water is present in subtle ways, a small basin at the corner of the chamber, reflecting light and offering a sense of tranquility. Its surface remains calm, only occasionally rippling when a servant discreetly adjusts its position. The gentle sound of this water, paired with the whisper of silk and the quiet murmurs of the attendants, forms a delicate auditory tapestry, one that eases tension and invites contemplation. The chamber is alive with motion, yet it remains serene. its energy carefully balanced to support calm rather than distraction. The Sultan enters, and the servants' movements become even more attuned to his presence. They adjust cushions with a slight tilt, ensuring proper support for the head, neck, and back. A silk throw is draped across the divan, its weight and texture calibrated to provide both warmth and softness. Every corner of the chamber has been considered. The placement of light, the position of shadows, and the alignment of decorative elements all contribute to a subtle, pervasive sense of order and peace. These refinements are unseen by casual observation, yet their cumulative effect on the mind and body is profound. A loyal attendant prepares a fan, its frame polished to perfection, its blades designed to catch the smallest movements of air. He waves it gently, the soft rhythm of motion creating a cooling breeze that drifts over the Sultan, enhancing his comfort without drawing attention to itself. Another servant offers a bowl of cool water scented lightly with petals. Its presence, both practical and symbolic, a gesture of care that embodies attentiveness and devotion. Each action is performed with an unspoken understanding of the Sultan's preferences, a silent dialogue between servant and master that speaks volumes in its quiet precision. The chamber itself is a visual delight, adorned with intricate patterns, in soft tones that soothe the eyes. Tapestries hang on the walls, their designs reflecting themes of nature and serenity, while small lanterns provide a gentle illumination that complements the afternoon light filtering through the windows. Sultan's gaze falls upon these details, each element reinforcing a sense of stability and calm. The arrangement encourages slow, deliberate movement, a gentle awareness of one's surroundings that fosters mindfulness and relaxation. Even the smallest details are addressed with care. A soft, embroidered cloth covers the floor beneath the Sultan's seating area, protecting the delicate fabrics of the divan while providing additional cushioning. Small bowls of fresh flowers are positioned at points that catch both light and scent, their blooms contributing to the chamber's sensory richness. Servants move unobtrusively to refresh these offerings, ensuring the environment remains perfect, unspoiled, and harmonious. Their dedication is evident in the seamless coordination, the quiet attentiveness, and the evident respect that imbues every motion dot as the Sultan settles into the prepared space. The chamber fulfills its purpose completely. He sinks into the cushions, the textures welcoming his form, the ambient temperature perfectly balanced, the fragrances calming, the light gentle. The loyal servants step back, their presence receding into the background, yet remaining poised to respond to any need. In this meticulously curated environment, the Sultan experiences a profound sense of care, a gentle reassurance that allows him to release the burdens of the day. Every element of the chamber sound, scent, texture, light, and shadow works in concert to cultivate serenity, providing a sanctuary in which body and mind may rest fully and completely. The soft clink of teacups resonates gently in the Sultan's chamber, a delicate symphony that speaks of quiet rituals and refined care. It is a sound that carries both presence and subtlety, punctuating the serene atmosphere with its rhythmic, understated melody. Each cup, crafted from fine porcelain, rests lightly in the hands of the loyal attendants before it is set carefully upon its saucer. The faint, crystalline tone as the cup meets the plate is amplified not by volume, but by attentiveness. It draws the ear not harshly, but tenderly, inviting the mind to notice the nuances of sound in an otherwise calm environment. The preparation of tea is itself an art, performed with meticulous attention to detail. Water, heated to the precise temperature, is poured over carefully measured leaves, releasing their aroma in delicate, curling wisps of steam. The attendants handle each step with practiced grace, their movements synchronized and measured. There is a rhythm to the process, a subtle choreography that transforms the simple act of making tea into a contemplative practice. The soft hiss of boiling water, the gentle swirl of liquid in the pot, and the final placement of each cup contribute to a symphony of tranquility. The Sultan watches quietly as the ritual unfolds, his senses attuned to every detail. The warmth rising from the cups invites him to inhale deeply, drawing in the subtle fragrances of the tea leaves, hints of jasmine, chamomile, and other delicate herbs mingling in a calming bouquet. The scent alone has a soothing effect, softening the edges of the day and preparing the mind for reflection and repose. Each sip is deliberate, a measured pause that encourages mindfulness. The liquid is smooth and comforting, a gentle warmth that spreads through the body, complementing the calm cultivated by the chamber itself. Every element of this tea ritual is designed to heighten awareness while maintaining relaxation. The arrangement of cups and saucers, the placement of small spoons and sugar bowls, the faint glimmer of the porcelain, and the soft light all combine to create a visual and tactile harmony that reinforces the auditory pleasure of the clinking. Cups. Each touch, each movement, each sound is performed with careful intent, reflecting a devotion to comfort and refinement. The attendant's attentiveness ensures that the Sultan's experience is uninterrupted, seamless and enveloping, a sanctuary of quiet precision. The chamber's atmosphere is enhanced by subtle background sounds, the faint rustle of silk robes, the whisper of fans stirring gentle breezes, and the distant trickle of water from the courtyard fountain. These ambient noises intermingle with the soft clink of cups, forming an auditory tapestry that encourages deep relaxation. The Sultan is enveloped in this symphony, his senses engaged yet at ease, attuned to the layered textures of sound without distraction or strain. The soft clink serves as a gentle anchor, a rhythmic cue that guides attention toward presence, mindfulness, and calm. The cups themselves are works of art, painted with delicate patterns that catch the light in subtle ways. Each floral motif, each gilded edge, is carefully observed by the Sultan as he lifts the cup to his lips. The tactile pleasure of the smooth porcelain, combined with the comforting warmth of the tea, heightens the sensory experience, reinforcing the connection between mind, body, and environment. Even the act of setting the cup back down is performed with intention, a gentle lowering that produces a clear, ringing note, resonant yet never jarring. The attentiveness of the servants ensures that this ritual flows effortlessly each moment, enhancing the overall sense of serenity. The tea ritual is not hurried. Time slows within the chamber, each clink of the cup marking a measured heartbeat in the passage of the afternoon. The Sultan's gaze drifts to the surrounding environment, noticing the delicate patterns of light filtering through the windows, the soft textures of the cushions beneath him, and the harmonious arrangement of objects that provide both aesthetic pleasure and physical comfort. The chamber's design, combined with the careful orchestration of tea, invites a meditative state where awareness expands without tension and the mind drifts freely within the bounds of attentive relaxation. The Sultan's interactions with the attendants are minimal yet deeply respectful, acknowledging their skill and care without disturbing the tranquil rhythm of the ritual. They respond with practiced discretion, anticipating needs and adjusting elements as necessary, whether offering an additional cushion, ensuring the temperature of the tea remains perfect, or replacing a slightly used napkin. The seamless coordination of these small actions underscores the dedication and loyalty of the servants, reinforcing the Sultan's sense of safety, comfort, and peace. Even as the tea session continues, subtle nuances of sound and movement enrich the experience. The gentle placement of spoons into sugar bowls, the soft whisper of liquid as it is poured, the faint adjustment of fan blades to maintain an optimal breeze, each contributes to a meditative soundscape. The Sultan's mind, guided by these sensory cues, enters a state of gentle awareness, a rhythm that mirrors the measured, deliberate motions of the attendants. Every clink, every whisper, every soft rustle is part of a larger composition, a delicate orchestration designed to encourage stillness, contemplation, and profound relaxation. As the ritual nears its conclusion, the Sultan sits back, savoring the final sips of tea. The room resonates with a lingering sense of completion, a quiet fulfillment that comes from attentively performed care. The cups are collected with the same deliberate care with which they were placed, and the chamber gradually returns to a more subdued state, the soft sounds of service fading into the background. The gentle resonance of the teacups lingers in memory, a comforting echo that reinforces the sense of calm and satisfaction cultivated throughout the ritual. In this simple yet intricate ceremony, the Sultan experiences the essence of attentive care, the harmony of sound, scent, and tactile pleasure. The soft clink of teacups, though minor in volume, becomes central to the orchestration of serenity, a quiet affirmation of devotion, elegance, and mindfulness. Each element works in concert to enhance his comfort and prepare him for the continued unfolding of a peaceful afternoon where mind, body, and spirit remain aligned in complete tranquility. The garden stretches before the Sultan's chamber like a hidden oasis, a sanctuary of color, scent, and subtle movement. Its pathways wind gently among carefully tended flower beds, where the air is rich with the mingling fragrances of blooming plants. Jasmine, rose, and delicate orchids release their scent into the morning breeze, each note layering atop the next to form a harmonious perfume that envelops the senses. The subtle rustle of leaves and the soft hum of distant bees create a quiet backdrop, a living symphony that enhances the garden's immersive beauty. The Sultan walks slowly along the paths, his robes brushing lightly against the carefully raked gravel, producing a soft, reassuring crunch with each measured step. The texture underfoot contrasts pleasantly with the smoothness of marble fountains and stone benches, scattered thoughtfully throughout the garden. Every element is positioned with deliberate intention, guiding the visitor through a carefully orchestrated sensory experience. As he moves, the Sultan notices the interplay of sunlight and shadow, how the golden rays filter through the lattice of trees and illuminate petals in warm, shifting tones. The fragrance of the flowers is not overwhelming. Rather, it is delicate and complex, designed to calm the mind and invigorate the spirit simultaneously. Jasmine offers its heady sweetness, a gentle perfume that draws attention and soothes the senses. Roses contribute a richer, deeper note, slightly warmer and more grounded, while orchids provide a light, almost ethereal aroma that elevates the overall atmosphere. The blending of these scents encourages a form of meditation, as the Sultan breathes deeply, allowing the natural essences to wash over him and foster an inner calm that mirrors the tranquility of the garden itself. Each bloom is a study in meticulous care. Petals are free of blemishes, their edges smooth and precise. Leaves glisten with dew or the occasional drop of water from the fountains, and the stems stand upright with a quiet elegance. Garden attendants move silently among the plants, tending to them with gentle hands, trimming, watering, and ensuring that every flower remains in perfect health. Their work is unobtrusive, designed to maintain harmony without disturbing the natural rhythm of the garden. The Sultan notices their presence only in fleeting glimpses, their movements synchronized with the environment, a testament to the seamless integration of human care and natural beauty. Birdsong threads through the garden, accompanying the gentle murmur of water trickling from fountains and the occasional rustle of a breeze passing through the foliage. These sounds combine with the fragrance of the flowers to create a fully immersive environment, one that nurtures mindfulness and quiet reflection. The Sultan pauses at a small marble bench under the shade of a flowering tree, inhaling deeply. The scent of blossoms fills his senses, and he feels a profound connection to the living world around him. It is a moment suspended in time, where the interplay of fragrance, sound, and light fosters an experience of deep serenity. The garden's layout encourages exploration at a leisurely pace. Winding paths lead to hidden alcoves where rare flowers bloom, their colors vibrant against the muted greens of surrounding shrubs. Sculpted fountains punctuate the walkways, their gentle sprays creating ripples of sound and subtle arcs of glistening water. The Sultan takes time to observe these details: the delicate curve of a petal, the intricate veins of a leaf, the way sunlight refracts through droplets of water. Each observation reinforces a sense of attentiveness and presence, inviting him to immerse fully in the sensory richness of the garden dot. In addition to the visual and olfactory pleasures, there is a tactile dimension to the garden experience. Soft moss carpets parts of the shaded paths, inviting the Sultan to feel the cool, yielding surface beneath his feet. Smooth marble balustrades guide his hand along certain walkways, their polished surfaces a counterpoint to the rougher textures of bark and stone. Even the gentle touch of a flower, as he brushes past, it becomes a moment of subtle connection with the environment, reinforcing the interplay of the senses in a seamless, harmonious experience. The garden also encouraged contemplation. The Sultan's mind drifts in rhythm with the flowing water, the gentle sway of flowers in the breeze, and the occasional flutter of a bird's wings. He reflects on the care and patience required to cultivate such beauty, the delicate balance between human intervention and natural growth. Each flower is a quiet triumph of attention and effort, a reminder of the harmony that can exist when dedication and respect for nature converge. This meditation nurtures a sense of inner peace that parallels the external tranquility of the garden itself. Evening light transforms the garden subtly, deepening the hues of petals and casting elongated shadows across the pathways. The fragrances become richer as the temperature cools, the concentrated scents drifting lazily on the gentle wind. Lanterns hung along the paths catch the light in soft, golden pools, illuminating clusters of blossoms in ways that feel almost magical. The Sultan moves slowly through this transformed space, absorbing the gentle interplay of light, shadow, and scent. Each inhalation brings a calm awareness, a lingering connection to the natural world, and a deepening sense of well-being. The garden, with its fragrant flowers, moving water, and quiet attendance, forms an intricate network of sensory experiences designed to relax and restore. Every element, from the meticulously tended blooms to the subtle rustling of leaves, works in concert to create a space where the Sultan can let go of tension, focus on the present, can cultivate an inner serenity. The fragrant flowers are not merely decoration. They are an integral part of a carefully constructed environment where every sense is engaged and gently guided toward peace. As the Sultan finally leaves the garden, retracing his steps toward the palace chambers, the scents linger in his memory, a soft echo of the garden's tranquility. He carries with him a sense of renewal, a heightened awareness of the calming effects of nature, and a quiet anticipation for the remaining hours of the afternoon. The fragrant flowers have fulfilled their purpose: to soothe, to inspire, and to prepare both body and mind for the continued rhythm of relaxation and reflective calm that defines this serene retreat. The terrace stretches outward from the palace, bathed in the soft warmth of the afternoon sun. Golden light drapes over every surface, turning the stone balustrades, tiled floors, and scattered cushions into glowing, sunlit canvases. The Sultan steps onto the terrace, feeling the gentle heat on his skin, a comforting contrast to the cooler shade of the palace interiors. Each ray of sunlight seems to carry a subtle energy, diffused and pleasant, warming his shoulders, hands, and face without ever feeling harsh or overwhelming. The terrace is open to the sky, allowing sunlight to dance freely across the surfaces and illuminate the details of the architecture. Shadows fall softly, shaped by the intricate patterns of latticework and the delicate arches that frame the terrace. These shifting shadows create a visual rhythm, a gentle interplay between light, and dark that enhances the sense of space and serenity. The Sultan moves slowly along the terrace, pausing at points where the light seems to linger, enjoying the way the sun highlights textures, the smoothness of polished marble, the subtle patterns in carved stone, and the soft folds of his silk robes. A light breeze drifts across the terrace, teasing the edges of thin curtains or hanging drapes, and carrying with it the faint scent of flowers from the garden below. The combination of warmth and gentle air creates a sensation of complete comfort, neither stifling nor chilly, but perfectly balanced to invite relaxation. The Sultan leans against a low wall, closing his eyes briefly, and allows the sun to wash over him. The heat feels nurturing, almost as if the terrace itself is embracing him, blending the calm of the palace with the vitality of the outdoors. Soft cushions are scattered along the terrace, covered in rich fabrics that invite rest. The Sultan sinks into one, feeling the luxurious texture against his skin. Velvet and silk cushions support his back and arms, while lighter pillows cradle his head. The combination of sunlight and soft seating encourages a kind of leisurely meditation, a moment to fully inhabit the space and appreciate the delicate balance of comfort, warmth, and tranquility. Each inhalation carries the mingling sense of sun-warmed stone, distant garden flowers, and faint traces of incense from the nearby palace chamber, creating a sensory tapestry that heightens the terrace's restorative effect. The terrace offers expansive views of the surrounding landscape, a panorama of gardens, fountains, and distant palm groves. Sunlight illuminates each element, casting them in a golden glow that seems almost magical. The Sultan's gaze moves slowly across the horizon, tracing the interplay of colors and light. Far below, water in the palace fountains catches the sun, reflecting it in tiny, sparkling diamonds. Trees sway lightly, their leaves catching sunbeams, and the distant hills shimmer in soft, warm hues. The view reinforces a sense of peace, a reminder that the world beyond the palace is alive and gentle, yet contained within the quiet boundaries of this secluded retreat. The terrace is designed for extended presence. Low tables, polished and adorned with subtle inlays, hold small refreshments, bowls of fresh fruit, trays of delicately baked pastries, and vessels of cool water or herbal tea. The Sultan's attendants move quietly, offering service without interruption, their soft movements almost blending into the surrounding atmosphere. The tactile and visual details of the terrace smooth surfaces, plush fabrics, and the sun's gentle illumination combine to create a space that encourages lingering, reflection, and the quiet enjoyment of the present moment. Sunlight also accentuates the subtle colors of the terrace itself. Tiles in shades of cream, gold, and soft terracotta catch and reflect the light, creating a dynamic surface that seems to shift with each passing minute. The Sultan's robes in rich hues take on a luminous quality under the sun, as if the light itself is enhancing the depth of the fabric and the intricacy of embroidered patterns. This effect, gentle and understated, reinforces a sense of refinement and elegance, where even simple observation becomes a source of pleasure and calm. Time seems to slow on the terrace. Each breath, each movement is drawn out and magnified by the quiet warmth of the sun and the peaceful expanse of space. The Sultan feels a gentle alignment of body and mind, an attunement with the rhythm of the day. Thoughts drift freely but calmly, guided by the steady presence of light, the faint sounds of distant water, and the subtle murmur of the breeze. There is no urgency here, no call to action, only the serene unfolding of the afternoon under the sun's tender care dot as the sunlight gradually shifts, highlighting different corners of the terrace. The Sultan explores the space, moving from one sunlit spot to another. The shifting angles of light reveal textures and details previously unnoticed. The delicate filigree of a railing, the subtle glimmer of polished stone, the softness of a silk cushion catching a sunbeam, Every small discovery within the palace reinforces the richness of the experience, revealing not only sensory pleasures, but also echoes of history. The intricate carvings on the walls, the patterns woven into the textiles, and the subtle play of light across gilded surfaces speak of centuries of craftsmanship and cultural heritage. Each detail engages the senses, the touch of smooth marble, the fragrance of aged wood, the gentle rustle of curtains, and simultaneously awakens the mind to the stories and traditions embedded in the space. In this way, every moment becomes a layered journey through both luxury and history, deepening appreciation and wonder. The terrace's warmth is balanced by occasional gusts of wind that bring cooling relief, ensuring the Sultan never feels overheated. These gentle breezes animate the fabrics and foliage, adding a subtle kinetic energy to the otherwise tranquil environment. The interplay of sun and wind, warmth and airiness, encourages a state of alert relaxation. One feels fully present, yet profoundly at ease. The afternoon on the terrace is a celebration of sensory harmony. Sunlight, warmth, gentle breeze, luxurious textures, distant sounds, and subtle fragrances combine to create an environment perfectly attuned to the Sultan's comfort and repose. The terrace becomes more than a physical space. It transforms into a sanctuary for contemplation, reflection, and gentle restoration. Each element supports the others, producing a layered, immersive experience that nourishes both body and mind, preparing the Sultan for continued rest and mindful enjoyment throughout the day. The Velvet Lounge is a sanctuary of comfort and tranquility, designed to invite the Sultan into a state of gentle reflection and serene relaxation. Plush sofas, covered in deep-hued velvet, line the room, their soft surfaces inviting one to sink deeply and feel the material mold effortlessly to the body. Each cushion is plump and supportive, positioned to encourage the natural recline of the limbs, while additional pillows provide subtle contouring for head and back. The lounge is suffused with a soft, ambient light, filtered through heavy curtains that tone down the brilliance of the sun outside, creating a warm, intimate atmosphere where thoughts can drift freely. The Sultan moves gracefully into the lounge, feeling the immediate contrast between the structured formality of the palace halls and the languid ease of this retreat. The velvety texture under his fingertips and against his skin instills a sense of tactile pleasure, a gentle reminder of the luxurious comfort the lounge provides. Here, time slows. There is no hurry, no duty demanding attention. The soundscape of the lounge is subtle and restorative, punctuated only by the faint rustle of silk robes, the whisper of distant water, and the occasional creak of a polished floor beneath careful footsteps. Every sound reinforces a feeling of calm, offering a rhythmic backdrop against which thoughts may meander unhurriedly. The Sultan settles into one of the deep velvet sofas, allowing his body to conform completely to the support offered. The combination of soft seating, ambient warmth, and the filtered light creates an environment that seems to dissolve the edges of awareness, encouraging a gentle merging of mind, body, and surroundings. Here, every inhalation is slow and deliberate, carrying subtle hints of incense, polished wood, and distant flowers from the palace gardens. The mingling scents deepen the sensory experience, inviting reflection and mental drifting in a manner that is neither forced nor goal-oriented. The lounge is framed by tall windows, though the draperies soften the incoming light, allowing golden beams to trace the contours of furniture and the Sultan's robes. Shadows play along the folds of velvet and the intricately patterned carpets, creating a visual rhythm that complements the mental rhythm of ease. The interplay of light and shadow is subtle, never harsh, each nuance adding to a layered perception of space that feels simultaneously expansive and cocoon-like. This delicate balance fosters a sense of security, a feeling that the Sultan is shielded from intrusion, yet fully connected to the gentle flow of the palace beyond. Small tables of polished wood are positioned thoughtfully beside each sofa, holding vessels of herbal tea, small trays of fruit, or light pastries. The Sultan reaches for a cup of warm tea, the gentle steam rising in soft tendrils, carrying hints of chamomile, mint, or rose petals. Each sip is a quiet ritual, a moment to anchor. Awareness in the present, the liquid warms the mouth and throat, adding to the soothing ambience of the lounge. The repeated, calm gestures of lifting the cup, inhaling aroma, and sipping create a subtle rhythm, one that reinforces the sense of a slow, unhurried afternoon dedicated solely to repose. The Sultan allows his gaze to wander across the lounge, observing the interplay of textures and colors. Deep velvets of ruby, sapphire, and emerald harmonize with the polished wood of tables and the soft luster of silk draperies. Each color and surface invites contemplation, encouraging an awareness of sensory detail that is both grounding and pleasurable. The lounge is designed to accommodate thought, not distract from it. Each element contributes to an atmosphere of quiet reflection, reinforcing the seamless blend of physical comfort and mental ease. Here, thoughts drift like gentle currents, flowing freely without tension or urgency. Memories, imaginings, and contemplations intermingle naturally, sometimes hovering at the edges of consciousness, sometimes rising into clarity. The lounge encourages this mental wandering. The Sultan can follow each thought to its conclusion, or simply observe it, letting it dissolve back into the calm ambiance of the room. The interplay of comfort, light, and scent supports this cognitive freedom, making the act of thinking itself a soothing experience. The Sultan stretches lightly, feeling the soft give of the sofa beneath him and the subtle coolness of the polished floor under his feet. Every movement is deliberate but effortless, an integration of body and mind that mirrors the lounge's overall harmony. A gentle breeze, drawn through slightly open windows, animates the curtains and brings a touch of the palace garden inside. Rustle of silk, the faint scent of blossoms, and the filtered sunlight together create a multi-sensory tapestry, one that enhances the depth of contemplation and the richness of mental drifting. Every element of the lounge's arrangement enhances the tranquil experience. Sofas and chairs are thoughtfully positioned to invite quiet reflection or gentle conversation, providing generous space for movement. One can recline fully, sit upright, stretch leisurely, or curl comfortably. The careful layout encourages relaxation and mindfulness, allowing the Sultan or any guest to fully engage with the serenity and ease that permeates the space. Carpets and rugs cushion footsteps and add warmth, while small accent pieces, vases of fresh flowers, delicate ornaments, and embroidered throws provide points of gentle focus. Each element is carefully chosen to enhance the lounge's primary function, to invite the mind to wander and the body to relax, in a seamless synthesis of luxury, comfort, and serenity. As the Sultan reclines fully into the velvet lounge, thoughts continue to drift, unhurried, fluid, and unbounded. He allows awareness to settle into the rhythmic pulse of the room, the softness of textiles, the warmth of filtered light, the faint aroma of tea and flowers. The lounge transforms into a sanctuary of calm, a space where every detail, soft fabrics, gentle lighting, subtle scents, and the measured arrangement of furnishings works in harmony to support quiet contemplation. Within this serene environment, the Sultan feels a profound sense of ease, as if his mind, body, and surroundings are perfectly aligned. Each sensory element encourages a gentle slowing of thought, fostering mental clarity, emotional balance, and deep relaxation. In this peaceful interlude, the merging of self and space allows him to fully immerse in tranquility, experiencing a restorative calm that nurtures both body and spirit. The afternoon sun casts its gentle glow across the palace, a warmth that is both comforting and unhurried, marking the passage of time with quiet grace. In the Sultan's private quarters and lounges, the light begins its slow descent, stretching. Shadows across the ornate floors, richly patterned carpets, and polished tiles. Every architectural detail, the carved columns, the delicate latticework, the domed ceilings, is accentuated by the interplay of light and shade, creating a dynamic scene that evolves imperceptibly as minutes drift by. Sultan sits quietly, fully absorbed, observing as the shadows stretch and mingle across the chamber. Each subtle shift of sunlight marks the gentle passage of the afternoon, a serene reminder of time's slow, measured rhythm. He feels a deep sense of calm, attuning to the soft, natural progression of day into evening. The palace corridors, once bright and lively, now take on a tranquil, contemplative quality. Light filters through the high windows, angled just so, catching the edges of gilded arches and reflecting softly off polished surfaces. The shifting illumination traces intricate patterns across walls and floors, emphasizing the deliberate craftsmanship of every element. The warmth of the sunlight remains present, yet softened by the passage of hours, blending with the cooler tones of shaded areas to create a harmonious balance between brilliance and repose. This delicate equilibrium mirrors the Sultan's own state of mind, alert yet relaxed, attentive yet unhurried. In the Sultan's private lounge and sitting areas, the elongated shadows bring a quiet rhythm to the space. Furniture casts gentle silhouettes across the floor, cushions and velvet upholstery taking on a richer depth as the sunlight angles lower. The Sultan reclines, observing the subtle changes as they unfold, allowing the slow passage of time to soothe the mind. The shadows, ever shifting, seem almost alive, a visual representation of the day's slow heartbeat. Each moment invites reflection, a chance to consider not only the external beauty of the palace, but also the internal calm that it nurtures. Outside, the gardens mirror the palace's gentle transformation. Palm trees sway softly in the breeze, their long shadows stretching across pathways and fountains. The sunlight catches droplets of water, making them glisten like tiny, suspended jewels. Birds move quietly among the trees, their silhouettes etched sharply against the mellow light. Even the smallest details, the curve of a petal, the shimmer of a leaf, the glint of a fountain's edge, become more pronounced in this shifting illumination, revealing a quiet beauty that might be overlooked. In the harsh light of midday, the Sultan observes from open windows or shaded terraces, feeling a sense of continuity between the grandeur of the palace and the living, breathing elegance of the garden. The sensory environment enhances the visual spectacle. A gentle breeze drifts through slightly opened windows, rustling curtains, and carrying the soft fragrance of blossoms from the gardens. The distant sound of flowing water from fountains combines with the whisper of palm leaves, forming a calming auditory backdrop that accompanies the elongating shadows. This symphony of subtle stimuli reinforces the palace's overarching sense of harmony, a delicate balance of light, sound, and scent that nurtures both body and mind. The Sultan's awareness extends outward, absorbing these details while remaining rooted in the comfort of his luxurious surroundings. Every surface within the palace seems transformed by the afternoon light. Golden domes gleam softly as the sun dips lower, casting warm reflections onto the floors below. Intricate tiles glow with muted brilliance, revealing subtle patterns in the shadows that shift as the sun moves. Even the Sultan's own attire, rich silks and fine fabrics, takes on a different character under this light, colors deepening and textures becoming more tactile, almost inviting touch. The interplay between illumination and shadow enhances the tactile and visual experience, making every object and surface feel alive, part of an orchestrated dance of time and light. Within this evolving landscape, the Sultan's thoughts drift with ease. The slow movement of shadows provides a temporal anchor, a rhythm that supports introspection and contemplation. Thoughts are allowed to unfold naturally, without pressure or urgency, each one given space to rise, linger, and fade. The Sultan may reflect on the day's events, consider plans, or simply let the mind wander, attuned to the gentle, constant progression of light across the palace. This gradual, rhythmic transition creates a unique mental environment, one in which awareness and serenity coexist seamlessly. The palace itself seems to breathe in unison with the fading sun. The interplay of shadow and light marks a passage of time that is neither rushed nor abrupt. Floors and walls, cushions and tapestries, columns and arches all participate in this gentle transformation, creating a visual narrative that speaks of stability, continuity, and grace, even in motion. The space conveys calm. Servants move quietly through halls. Fans stir the air subtly, and fountains continue their rhythmic murmur. Every element contributes to the sense that the day is moving at its natural pace, honoring the Sultan's need for peace and unbroken tranquility. As the afternoon deepens, the Sultan remains seated or reclining, attuned to the subtle shifts in light, color, and shadow. He notes how the warm glow gradually gives way to the cooler tones of early evening, how the long shadows create new patterns across familiar surfaces. Each transformation is subtle, almost imperceptible, yet profoundly affecting, reminding him of the luxury of time and the depth of sensory experience that the palace affords. In these quiet moments, the Sultan feels fully present, fully immersed in a sensory and mental landscape that encourages repose, contemplation, and gentle preparation for the slower pace of evening. By the time the afternoon shadows stretch fully across rooms and gardens, a palpable sense of calm envelops the palace. Light and shadow, warmth and coolness, movement and stillness, all are perfectly balanced, offering a sanctuary for both the body and the mind. The Sultan's spirit mirrors this harmony, embracing the passage of time with ease and serenity. It is a space where sensory detail, architectural grandeur, and temporal rhythm converge to create an environment of quiet majesty, one in which each elongated shadow and softened beam of light is a reminder of the palace's enduring grace and the deep tranquility it offers. The palace has settled into a serene rhythm as the afternoon continues its slow passage, the light softening and shadows elongating across the rooms and corridors. In the Sultan's private chamber, a space designed for both luxury and tranquility, preparations for rest have been carefully attended to. The bed, expansive and richly adorned, awaits with its layered silken sheets, plush velvet cushions, and delicate embroidered covers. Every detail is meticulously arranged to provide not only physical comfort, but also a sense of serene opulence that soothes the mind. The Sultan moves toward this haven of rest, a deliberate, unhurried progression that mirrors the palace's calm cadence. As he approaches the bed, the Sultan's gaze takes in the surroundings. The room is bathed in the mellow glow of late afternoon. Sunlight, which filters through latticed windows, creating intricate patterns on the floor and walls. Golden domes above cast a warm radiance that mingles with the cooler shadows in the corners, blending light and dark into a visual harmony. Rich tapestries hang from walls, their intricate designs softened by the gentle light, contributing to a sense of enveloping warmth. The room feels alive yet quietly still, an environment that encourages the body to release tension and the mind to let go of the day's demands. The attendants, ever attentive yet unobtrusive, move with practiced care. They adjust cushions, smooth the fine silk covers, and gently arrange the Sultan's robes and garments to ensure maximum comfort. Their movements are rhythmic, soft, and deliberate, creating an atmosphere of seamless service that reinforces the room's calm. Fans are positioned to stir a gentle breeze, balancing the warmth of the sun with cool, soothing air. The Sultan watches these preparations, aware of the care and dedication present in every action, feeling a quiet gratitude that deepens his sense of safety and contentment. Approaching the bed, the Sultan begins a deliberate ritual of settling in, shedding outer garments to reveal robes of exquisite silk that glide smoothly over his body. Each action is measured, thoughtful, and unhurried, marking the transition from the alertness of daytime to the calm, receptive state of pre-sleep. He eases himself onto the mattress, feeling the gentle resistance of its layered cushions beneath him, the supportive embrace of pillows molded perfectly to his form, and the luxurious smoothness of the silk sheets against his skin. Every sensation, the balance of soft and firm, the tactile richness of fabric, and the subtle warmth surrounding him works together to induce deep comfort. This harmonious interplay encourages both physical ease and mental stillness, inviting the Sultan to release tension, let his thoughts settle, and fully immerse in the tranquility of the chamber. The moment is a quiet, meditative pause, a prelude to restorative rest. The attendants move with quiet precision, placing extra cushions to cradle the Sultan's head and back. One guides the fan in slow, gentle strokes, while another adjusts the silk covers, ensuring they provide comforting warmth without restriction. Every action is careful, subtle, and attentive, maintaining the serene, restful atmosphere around the Sultan. The Sultan's body sinks gradually into the bed, weight distributed evenly across the supportive layers, every muscle invited to relax. The slow, rhythmic motion of these preparations mirrors the natural pulse of the palace, reinforcing the tranquil ambience that pervades the space. Ambient sounds contribute to the calming environment. The gentle rustle of silk, the soft clink of metal from service trays, and the muted whisper of footsteps across tiled floors create a background of subdued activity, reassuring in its consistency. Outside, fountains murmur quietly, and the faint stir of palm fronds in the breeze filters through the windows. These subtle auditory cues blend with the tactile and visual comforts of the chamber, forming a multi-sensory cocoon that encourages the Sultan to let go of remaining tension. As he reclines fully, the Sultan's attention drifts to the finer details of the room. Golden accents on the walls and ceiling catch the diminishing light, producing a soft glow that dances across the polished surfaces. The texture of the fabrics beneath him invites tactile exploration, the silky sheets and velvet cushions offering a gentle contrast that heightens sensory awareness while promoting relaxation. The combination of visual splendor and physical comfort creates an immersive experience, one that fosters both mindfulness and a natural descent into restfulness. The Sultan's breathing deepens and slows, a physical response to the serene environment. His mind, once engaged with the matters of governance and the palace's rhythms, begins to release its hold on conscious thought. Attentive yet unobtrusive, the attendants maintain the atmosphere, providing reassurance through presence rather than interruption. The delicate balance of movement, light, and sound ensures that the Sultan feels fully supported in this transition, both physically and mentally. Time itself seems to stretch in the chamber. The late afternoon light continues to shift gradually, lengthening shadows across the floor and walls. The warmth of the sun is now tempered by the cooler air brought in through open windows, creating a balanced, enveloping comfort. Every object in the room, the bed, the cushions, the draped fabrics participates in this subtle dance, reinforcing the sense of sanctuary and encouraging the Sultan's body and mind to synchronize with the gentle flow of time. Finally, the Sultan nestles deeper into the bed, surrendering fully to the comfort that surrounds him. He adjusts a pillow beneath his head, a cushion against his back, and allows the soft silk sheets to cover him, creating a personal cocoon of warmth, softness, and security. The attendants, satisfied that every detail is attended to, withdraw quietly, leaving the Sultan in an environment perfectly designed for rest and relaxation. The interplay of sunlight, shadows, soft textures, and gentle sounds creates a final harmonious setting, one that signals the transition from alertness to restful repose. In this chamber, every sensory detail, from the textures beneath his skin to the soft light illuminating the room, encourages a natural descent into tranquility. The Sultan feels a profound sense of ease, a combination of physical comfort, attentive care, and visual and auditory harmony. The bed, cushions, and surrounding environment collectively embody luxury and serenity, supporting the Sultan as he settles into a state of calm and prepares for the slow, restorative journey into sleep. As the Sultan settles into the softness of his bed, the chamber around him begins to transform into an even more intimate sanctuary. The late afternoon light has softened into a mellow glow, and now the room welcomes the gentle flicker of candlelight. Each candle, placed thoughtfully on ornate holders and shelves, casts a warm, quivering illumination across walls, fabric, and gilded ornaments. The light is not harsh but tender, creating dancing shadows that move subtly with every flicker. This interplay of light and shadow enhances the room's depth and texture, adding a layer of visual serenity that draws the eyes into calm observation rather than distraction. A delicate breeze drifts through open windows, carrying with it the soft scent of jasmine and rose from the palace gardens beyond. The curtains, made of fine muslin, ripple lightly, as if breathing along with the Sultan. The movement is slow and hypnotic, a gentle rhythm that harmonizes with the Sultan's own. Relaxed breathing. The combination of the scented air, the delicate flutter of fabric, and the shimmering candlelight creates an enveloping sense of calm, a cocoon of sensory pleasure that signals the body and mind to release tension. The attendants move quietly through the chamber, their presence gentle and unobtrusive, preserving the Sultan's peaceful stillness. One adjusts a candle, keeping its flame steady and soft, ensuring the light remains warm and calming without flickering harshly. Another circulates the air with slow, deliberate movements of a fan, guiding the breeze so it flows evenly across the room, preventing any pockets of heat or discomfort. Every gesture is carefully measured, part of a silent choreography that nurtures the tranquil atmosphere. Their attentive care blends seamlessly into the environment, supporting the Sultan's relaxation and enhancing the chamber's serene rhythm. Without drawing attention to themselves, the Sultan's gaze drifts across the room, absorbing the delicate play of light and shadow. The walls, adorned with tapestries and gold accents, are transformed to flickering candlelight, their textures and patterns revealing new nuances with each subtle movement of flame. The cushions and silk sheets beneath him appear to shimmer, gently reflecting a fraction of the golden light, creating a sense of depth and richness that is both luxurious and soothing. His eyes, heavy with relaxation, follow the slow dance of shadows and light, finding comfort in the continuity of their movement. Ambient sounds in the chamber complement the visual and tactile sensations. The gentle swish of curtains in the breeze, the soft murmur of water from nearby fountains, and the distant rustle of leaves combine into a quiet symphony. Each sound is measured and natural, neither intrusive nor demanding, blending seamlessly into the background. The Sultan's own breathing falls into rhythm with these sounds, slow and deliberate, a reflection of the harmony established within the space. As the breeze circulates, it carries with it the subtle warmth of the late afternoon sun that still lingers outside, mingling with the cooler night air. This delicate temperature balance adds to the physical comfort, encouraging muscles to release tension and the mind to soften its focus. The Sultan feels the caress of air across his skin, the gentle movement against his hair, and the occasional brush of fabric from the pillows and sheets. These tactile impressions, though understated, deepen the sensation of restfulness, creating a multi-layered experience of relaxation that engages all the senses without overwhelming them. The candles themselves contribute to the sensory cocoon, in more than just their light. A faint, natural scent emanates from the wax, subtly mingling with the floral notes drifting in from outside. Each flicker of flame produces a tiny warmth, a microcosm of comfort that the Sultan subconsciously registers, further encouraging the body to relax. The combination of olfactory, visual, and tactile stimuli is carefully balanced to create a sanctuary of calm, a space where the Sultan can transition smoothly from alertness to deep mental and physical relaxation. The attendants, now mostly withdrawn, continue to monitor the room unobtrusively, ensuring that no sudden shifts disrupt the delicate equilibrium. Their quiet presence, known but unobtrusive, reinforces the sense of security. The Sultan feels this care as a subtle reassurance, a knowledge that he is surrounded by attentive eyes while still experiencing complete freedom to rest. This duality, aware of protection, yet undisturbed, enhances the psychological comfort of the space, allowing the mind to surrender fully to the moment. In this serene environment, time slows to a gentle, almost tangible rhythm. Every flicker of candlelight stretches gracefully across the room. Each whisper of the breeze flowing through the open windows extends into a meditative cadence. Thoughts, if they arise at all, drift lazily, unhurried, and untroubled by any urgency. The soft illumination, scented air, subtle movements, and the careful presence of attendants merge seamlessly, creating a harmonious space that nourishes both body and mind. The Sultan sinks deeper into the cushions and soft layers surrounding him, allowing the velvet and silk to cradle his form. He wraps himself in the smooth, comforting sheets, feeling their gentle weight settle across his body. The warm, flickering candlelight stretches along the edges of the bed and chamber, casting a tender, expansive glow that is both intimate and soothing. Outside, the breeze drifts in, carrying delicate hints of the garden's soft floral scents, rustling leaves, and distant bird calls that mingle seamlessly with the warmth of the room. Every detail, the light, the air, the textures, and the subtle sounds blends into a harmonious environment that invites complete relaxation. With each breath, the Sultan feels tension dissolve from his muscles, a sense of calm spreading through his body. His mind softens, thoughts drifting lazily, unhurried and free from concern. The chamber becomes a sanctuary of serenity, a vessel through which stress quietly melts away. Body and mind align effortlessly, each element supporting the natural descent into deep, restorative relaxation. In this gentle interlude, the Sultan is enveloped in warmth, softness, and the steady rhythm of the palace life around him. Every flicker of light, whisper of breeze, and caress of fabric contributes to the tranquil cocoon, guiding him toward a peaceful rest. Here, in the embrace of the chamber's calm, he prepares to drift fully into restorative sleep, cradled by comfort, serenity, and the subtle harmony of his surroundings. The Sultan lies nestled into the layers of soft silk sheets and velvet cushions, each supporting his body with a comforting embrace. The room is bathed in the golden hue of the afternoon sun, streaming through the windows and casting long, gentle rays across the chamber. This warm illumination is neither harsh nor glaring. It is a nurturing light, softening the edges of the room and painting the surfaces with a serene glow. The Sultan feels the sun's warmth caress his skin, mingling with the subtle coolness of the breeze, a delicate balance that invites his body to fully relax. Outside, the courtyard continues its quiet rhythm. The fountains gurgle softly, their steady flow creating a calming soundtrack that mixes with the rustle of palm fronds swaying lazily in the warm air. Birds in the gardens contribute intermittent trills, adding delicate layers to the auditory tapestry, but nothing disturbs the underlying tranquility. Within the chamber, the Sultan senses these sounds as part of the sanctuary, a gentle reminder of the world outside, harmonized with the inner peace cultivated by the room's atmosphere. Scented air drifts in lightly from the gardens, carrying the fragrance of blooming jasmine, sweet rose, and delicate orchid. The aroma permeates the chamber, mingling subtly with the soft scent of the candle wax and polished wood. Each breath the Sultan takes is a gentle reminder of the serene environment surrounding him. This combination of golden light, fragrant air, and ambient sound coalesces into a sensory embrace, fostering a deep sense of calm and preparing the mind and body for rest. Every detail within the chamber has been arranged with care to support this moment. The cushions and silk sheets cradle the Sultan's form, providing gentle resistance that eases tension from muscles and joints. The attendants, quietly attentive, remain nearby yet unobtrusive, adjusting a pillow here or turning a fan there to maintain the optimal comfort. Their presence is reassuring, a subtle layer of protection that allows the Sultan to surrender completely to the experience of the nap. The Sultan's breathing slows, following a natural, unhurried rhythm. Each inhale draws in the fragrant air. Each exhale releases the remnants of fatigue. His eyelids grow heavier, fluttering slightly before settling, as if acknowledging the day's labors and granting permission for repose. The golden sunlight warms his face and hands. The velvet cushions support his shoulders and back, and the gentle sounds of water and wind provide a melodic backdrop. In this harmony of sensory stimuli, relaxation deepens steadily, coaxingly. Mind toward a state of tranquil awareness. Time seems to stretch within this golden chamber. The sun's rays slowly shift across the room, illuminating different surfaces as they move, yet the continuity of warmth and light remains soothing rather than disruptive. Shadows lengthen softly, gliding along the polished floors and tapestries, while the flicker of distant candles adds a subtle interplay of motion and stillness. These changes are gradual, imperceptible, enhancing the hypnotic calm rather than drawing attention to themselves. As the Sultan drifts closer to sleep, his thoughts dissolve into a gentle fog. There are no pressing concerns, no obligations demanding. Focus only the present moment, composed entirely of warmth, scent, sound, and touch. His body sinks further into the softness beneath him, each muscle releasing tension as if guided by the rhythm of the room itself. The gentle oscillation of the breeze, the whisper of fabric, the faint clink of a distant teacup all coalesce into a singular experience of serenity. The attendant's care continues in the background, subtle yet precise. A small adjustment of a cushion, the slight repositioning of a fan, or the careful lighting of a candle, all performed with the aim of maintaining uninterrupted comfort. These quiet acts reinforce the Sultan's sense of security, allowing him to let go fully. He is surrounded by an environment designed to nurture rest, to cultivate the deep, untroubled pause of a golden afternoon nap. In this space, the Sultan's body and mind align. His limbs are supported, his head rests lightly upon the silk pillow, and his heart rate slows to match the tranquil pace of the room. The golden sunlight, the soft scents, the harmonious sounds, and the gentle touch of air converge to create a perfect setting for slumber. The world outside the chamber fades in importance, while the inner world of warmth, scent, sound, and touch takes precedence, guiding him naturally into rest. The nap deepens, a peaceful drift through golden light and gentle shadows. Each moment feels elongated, rich with sensory detail, yet effortlessly calming. The Sultan's mind wanders lightly, touched by fleeting impressions of the gardens, the fountains, and the delicate candlelight, but never clinging to them. The body feels supported, safe, and entirely at ease. Every inhalation, every exhalation, brings a sense of restoration, a gentle replenishment that reaches both physical and mental layers. As the golden afternoon stretches on, the chamber becomes a sanctuary of serenity. The Sultan lies fully at ease, enveloped in the gentle warmth of sunlight, the soft caress of silk and velvet, and the subtle fragrances drifting from the garden. The sounds of flowing water, rustling leaves, and distant birds weave a quiet, continuous lullaby, merging seamlessly with the calm of the palace itself. In this space, Body, mind, and spirit harmonize, and the boundaries between self and surroundings fade into a gentle, restorative rhythm. The attendant's careful, quiet movements, the flicker of candlelight, and the shifting shadows preserve the chamber's tranquility. Every dial, the smoothness of cushions, the warmth of sunlit fabrics, the gentle fragrance of flowers invites reflection, stillness, and the release of tension. Each moment encourages the Sultan to surrender fully to relaxation, allowing the mind to drift and the body to sink deeper into comfort. Beyond the chamber, the palace itself seems to breathe in harmony with this peaceful pause. The soft interplay of light, sound, and scent creates a meditative environment, a haven where calm flows effortlessly. Time slows, and the simple, tender pleasures of the space nurture a profound sense of well-being. As the day continues its gentle fade, the listener is invited to join in this peaceful rest. The Sultan drifts into a tranquil nap, secure, soothed, and serene. Good night, and may your own dreams be as gentle, warm, and comforting as this golden afternoon.